Is that our poll question?
You got any other?
No. No, David, I don't.
Who do you want to be the next head coach of the Florida Gators? Lane Kiffin, Alex Golish, Steve Spurrier. Good morning, EB, John, Robes, Spitz. Robes, I'm in your time zone. EB, the Bucs defensive coordinator, is basically their head coach. I know, Baby Jules, I covered Matt Prater in high school. When's Gator basketball start? AJC, I think it's our poll question.
Well, you guys are talkative this morning. Holy Nike.
People are fired up.
Of all the Gator fans, Adam, I was thinking about you when they got beat. How were you handling it? That you were the one guy I thought of. I don't know if that's good or bad, but you were the guy I was thinking about.
I was going to say, Adam, isn't it your fault you hung the Gator flag and not the Jag flag?
Hell of a good point.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this Overreaction Monday. Although it may not be for a couple of fan bases. Hope you had a great weekend. Thanks for starting your week off with us. Hold on a second. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Yeah, baby. Yeah. To think we got 17 more weekends of this NFL action.
That's just Sunday. I mean, then we had this.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Hey, this ain't the same old South Florida, my brother.
Oh, he went, my brother.
He went Hulkster. He went Hulkster on the field after he took down the Gators at Swamp.
My brother. I think the only person we've ever had on this show who does that's Orlando Alcigari.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Yeah, here's the good news for us as fans. We have 17 more weekends of the NFL. Here's the bad news for Billy Napier. He's got 10 more weekends, and his schedule's supposed to get harder. Although, who knows how much harder it will really get. How good are the Bulls of South Florida, baby, brother?
Crazy. I mean, wow. David, this is, what an interesting weekend for the state of Florida. The two teams that we love when they play one another had easy games and coasted. Florida, as you all know by now, lost to South Florida. The Miami Dolphins were embarrassed. I mean, that was the worst performance of the week in football. Saturday, Sunday, I don't care where. That was embarrassing.
Nobody cared about the game I was at, but if we did a poll question, it'd be who had a worse weekend, Oklahoma State or the Miami Dolphins? By the way,
but Oklahoma State was at least expected to get blown out.
They were 4-touchdown underdogs, yes. Of course, they lost by 10 touchdowns, but that's a whole other story.
But Miami, we spent the entire offseason wondering whether or not McDaniel and his newfound
toughness,
right?
Yeah.
Accountability is going to be a part of what we do, who we are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a new Miami Dolphins. Yeah.
And from the word go, they got destroyed.
They got their butts whooped.
I mean, just whooped.
It's tough in the NFL to be down 30-0. Never mind week one. I mean, come on, everybody shows up week one. Everybody plays week one. Even teams that are going to go 2-15 play their off week one.
Look how the Saints played.
Yeah.
To the final damn play. I mean, there they are in the red zone on fourth down, an opportunity to get within one. And I can't say tie it because if I'm New Orleans in that situation and I actually score, and boy, oh boy, were they close on third down, you and I would have gone for two in that situation, David.
Yes,
we would have. We're not the better team. Here's our best shot to win.
Yep, totally.
But they, in the fourth quarter, gave their fans at least that thing we like to call hope. They were in. The Miami Dolphins were just awful. What did I say? What were the plays in the first half? And they were similar in the second half. Like 42-12 were the plays in the first half.
Yeah, it was either first half or after the first drive of the third quarter or something like that. Yes, 42-12. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's not like the Colts were an offensive juggernaut. I mean, they kicked a lot of field goals. I mean, that could have been much worse. Yep. Mm-hmm. Remember, this is a team that doesn't win on opening day. This is a team everybody mocking. Who's their quarterback again?
Danny Dimes, baby.
Danny Dimes. And that's not a term of affection either. That's now become, early in his career, he was Danny Dimes. Right. And then as the mediocre to bad years kept going in New York, okay, people would be using that. That'd be almost like a 4-letter word. Who's your quarterback? Danny Dimes. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mark, do you know there are people out there who are Gator fans and Dolphins fans?
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Right. I mean, their weekend was brought to you by what? 1-800-DOERS? I mean.
Yeah. It was something. It was something. And, oh, yeah, by the way, Florida, you head to LSU this week. And then Miami. And I won't even get into the games after the bye week because I think there's a chance that Napier is not the head coach when they host Texas.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. Calling for a September firing.
If they lose both, you tell me, is he really going to be the head coach when they host Texas? I'm not messing around. And David, I don't play this game. I don't go to the fire the coach well. That's never been my style.
Nope.
But you tell me he loses at LSU, where they're now going to be a significant underdog, and he loses at Miami. You tell me, is he really going to be coaching the Texas game?
I think he is. Once again, we need to go back a year. Before the Gators basketball team won the national championship, and before Billy Napier and the Gators, we thought, turned this around with a 4-game winning streak to end last season. At this time last year, what was the storyline at Florida? Well, remember, the AD's not going to fire the coach, because if he fires the coach, he's firing himself. So now, Mark, we have to ask the question a year later. Is Scott Strickland on firm enough ground that he can fire Billy Napier and not lose his job?
David, this is going to be beyond him.
Well, it's true. There's no doubt.
This is beyond him.
There's no doubt.
And you're right. Billy won his job back in November of 2024. He did. He very much earned the right to come back and lead this team this year. David, they had a 12 men on the field penalty that gave South Florida a first down. Was a 4th down stop. They had a player go all Jalen Carter on the final drive, giving South Florida 15 much-needed yards to kick the field goal. I believe, and I may be wrong on this one. If I am, I apologize, but I thought there were 3 touchdowns called back because of penalties. 2 on the same drive. I know that it's players who have to execute, but when you can't get touchdowns because you're penalized, when you give away points twice on defense because of stupid penalties, 12 men on the field, spitting in someone's face, that comes back to the head coach. Should it come back to the head coach? Probably. Being undisciplined ultimately falls on the coach more than anything else. So, David, all of the goodwill that he earned in November of last year is gone.
Yeah,
He's got nothing.
Yeah, yes.
And unless they beat LSU or Miami, I'm not betting on Napier being the coach much longer in Gainesville.
Okay. The information I have is if they wait till after the season, the buyout's 20 and change. That they owe 85% of what's remaining on the contract. And it would be $20.4 million, because he's got 3 years after this one, and he's making 7.4 this year. So you figure there's probably modest raises in there, and they would owe him 85% of what's remaining. So that sounds about right. Now, that's if they wait till after this year. He's making 7.4 this year. So, Mark, if you fire him after 4 games and he's still got 2/3 of this season left, do some quick math here. That's like $5 million left on his contract. You'd owe him 85% of it. That's if you fire him during the bye, Mark, it'll cost you an extra $3.5 million.
Okay. Done. Done. Are you serious? This isn't like a $70 million buyout. You're talking,
right.
If you're saying this year's salary, so $28 million versus $20 million, or 25 versus paying him the whole season, you got to pay him for this year anyhow.
Right. It's 20.4 if you wait till after Thanksgiving. It's $24 million if you fire him on the bye week. It's the old Pat Kerwin story. Ron Wolf walks in the locker room and says, "I'm just tired of seeing that guy's face. Get rid of him." I mean, is it worth $3.5 million to you to just not to have to see his face?
And I think that it is. I think that it is. I think that the Gator boosters all day yesterday were on speed dial.
Yes, they were. Yep.
And I don't even know if they're calling the athletic director.
Nope. I don't think so either. No. Nope. But you just have to wonder. A year ago, we said if Napier went, Strickland went with him. Now, does a basketball national championship save Scott Strickland his gig?
Don't know how. I don't know how. And that's just what happened in Gainesville this weekend. We can go to South Beach via Indianapolis and talk about that. But if you're like many people and went to bed a little early last night, you missed one of the great regular season games of all time in Buffalo. Miller and Moulton, thanks for joining us. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters. Floormeisters.com.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Chris didn't take the best of out, so we were running. I had a little confusion this morning. That's why you saw me on my phone trying to get that fixed. It's fixed. Hey, maybe Green Bay's really good, but I mean the Lions sucked. Sucked. They were terrible. Paula, how you doing this morning? You okay?
Where is Paula? Have we seen Paula? Hello, Paula? Don't go all Irish football on us.
I thought I saw her this morning. I could be wrong.
Oh, not good. I figured that. It's one game, and it's a road division game. Look at it that way. It's just one. You want to get your stinker out of the way early. Wow, you had more fun watching Underwood, huh? And he looked like he was playing his second game. He's going to be fine, though. I think he'll be fine. I don't know about how well he's being coached, but I think he'll be fine.
That's an interesting point there, David. It really is.
You know, Empire, based on week 1, based on performances, you would put the Dolphins on the clock. Boy, wouldn't that be something?
Oh, my God.
Wouldn't that be something? Of course, they were on the clock in the last 20 years. They drafted a left tackle. Could have had Matt Ryan.
God, that is just a cold question.
Did we ask it, though?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's up.
That's how I want to start the week right there, baby.
By the way, it's Billy Napier. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's Billy Napier. It's right there.
When's the Dolphins bye week?
Isn't it after they go play Washington in Spain?
So is that October or November?
Hang on. I don't have their schedule memorized. That's on me. You're better at that than I am. I just can't.
I think it's November.
I think it's October, but I'm not sure, David. It's that stretch where they play, it's technically 3 home games. Oh, no, it's November. November 16th, Washington and Spain. No. Gus isn't getting a head coaching job anytime soon.
Plus,
it is the one thing we always ask, Adam. It's when you're going to fire him, who are you going to replace him? And I'm just telling everybody, Lane is not a guarantee.
How about the guy who just beat him? Why don't overthink it?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
We are fired up on this Monday morning. It's an overreaction Monday. Although for a few fan bases, I'm not sure it is. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. I'm in Chicago, by the way. Chicago. Where I don't know if anybody cares because the Bears are playing tonight. New coach. See if the quarterback's any good. By the way, the Cubs gave up 5 in the 9th to lose yesterday. It's a good thing for them. The Bears are playing tonight. Man, oh, man.
Whatever. You're really going to – I know it's the baseball hour and all, but come on.
I just wanted to mention this. So I just wanted to give everybody the mood in Chicago. By the way, one of our avid listeners, okay, DC in the Twitch chat room, his name's Derek. He lives in Chicago. We had dinner last night. Went to a local pizza joint, Giordano's. It was outstanding. And by the way, Miller and Moulton bought. Okay, that's how much we value. Okay, our listeners. Don't worry, Mark.
Excuse me.
Bought. Okay, you didn't. It didn't cost you a dime. Moulton bought.
You traveled all those hours to eat dinner with a listener, and then you paid?
Yeah. So our appreciation. Yeah, but don't worry. It's Miller and Moulton didn't buy. Moulton bought. But I just wanted to make it sound we appreciate our listeners.
Well, he bought because you can text the show at 21,000, the keywords Miller, on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line.
Now that's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. We got Pelican Roofing of Florida text line, American Paint Supplies hotline. Now we're shaping up as a real show.
8669 Pelican, commercial or residential roofing. We would appreciate if you would use them. Call them. I've used them. They are terrific.
By the way, I know what you're thinking. You're like, hold on a second, Mark. You gave out one too many numbers. You said
I know. It screwed me up too.
You said 8669 Pelican.
9 Pelican.
Right. I called it this morning. It works. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it's one too many numbers. No, it is not.
So Danny Canal, who's been on the show before, and actually we've been trying to line him up to get him again. He put out his top 12, the DK top 12 in college football, with the title after week 2, here is my resume-based top 12. Number 1 in the country.
South Florida.
South Florida.
There you go.
Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Florida State. Number 4, Miami. Number 5, Auburn. Now, you got to take Danny with a grain of salt. But the point that he is making is early season rankings are stupid because we don't know a damn thing.
I'd hope you have LSU up there.
LSU 6, Iowa State 7, Illinois 8, Oklahoma 9, Ole Miss 10, Oregon 11, and Georgia Tech 12. Although I would argue with the Georgia Tech, they struggled mightily early with Gardner Webb over the weekend.
King didn't play at all. We talked about that beating he took week 1. Okay, I don't know if he sat out because of injury or if he sat out because they were playing Gardner Webb, but he didn't play a snap.
Probably a little bit of both. Last night, if you went to bed after Derrick Henry made the long run to increase the lead to, I think, 15 at that point.
Yep,
maybe
40 to 25 with 7 minutes to go.
You went to bed too early because
Yes.
Josh Allen did Josh Allen things and saved my patootie, so at least I had a 2-3 week.
Same here. Same here. I got a lot right this weekend. A lot right, but not necessarily my 5 picks. In fact, I was about to be shut out on the NFL again.
We bitched openly on this show about what a bad week 2 schedule the college football world had for us.
Right.
And it's funny how often when we complain about what a bad week it looks like in the NFL or in the NCAA football, what it gives us. Baylor, a 21-point lead in the 4th. They blow it. Or SMU, rather, a 21-point lead in the 4th. They blow it. Baylor wins in double overtime. I bring that game up for a couple of reasons. One, it was Lee Sterling's 40-unit play.
Yes.
And the very first play from scrimmage is a bomb on a post pattern over the middle to the SMU receiver. The Baylor corner looks as if he is going to intercept it. He jumps. There's a reason he plays corner. It bounces off of his hands into the arms of the SMU receiver who goes the distance for a score. And I just thought to myself, when you're going to get beat betting, those are the plays right there that beat. Like, for me, I had Iowa State, and David said, take the points. He's right. Always take the points. He was right on that one. But Iowa State's cruising, even though it's only 6-0. They're dominating the line of scrimmage, running wherever they want. They're getting a punt back from Iowa. Iowa's going nowhere. 2 3-and-outs. 3 3-and-outs, I think. Muffed punt. 6-3. It's like,
There you go.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
But that was a good game. The Baylor SMU game was a good game. You know, for a little while, you had Clemson struggling. You had Texas A&M struggling.
Struggling? Mark, they're down 16-0 at home to Troy late in the first half.
Right.
They're down 16-3 at the half. Yeah. But from a schedule standpoint, not a marquee weekend. All right. There were some 70-0, 69-3. There was some ugly out there.
Yeah.
And these games were all televised too, which is oofta. Oofta. Hey, can we go back to the Gators for a second?
Oh, yeah.
What do you do with the kid who spit on the South Florida kid? And I'm being serious here, because I suspend him indefinitely.
David, my initial reaction, because it is, after all, college, and now they're minor pro players. See, you can't fine them. I mean, this is the one interesting thing. With the money they're getting, there's no fine system in place for the college guy.
Nope.
I don't know if you suspend him indefinitely if he still gets his NIL. And I'm not messing around here, because I'd kick him off the team. And I'm not joking.
Oh,
I'd be done with him. If Billy Napier wants to take back control of this program and make something work, you have to let players know that they have to be accountable for their actions. And you can't do that. I'm done with you.
because you could argue, I mean, there's a lot to talk about here. Play calling, when Grammatica comes up just short on the 58-yard field goal with just under 3 minutes to go, they take over an outstanding field position, 2 first downs, they win the game, probably 1 first down. They're just, by the time South Florida gets the ball back and they will have used all their timeouts and what have you, they probably win the game. All right. But the play calling, there's a lot going on here.
Well, and Lagway said he changed into a throw on one of those.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You don't have that choice.
Yeah, first
the
down.
Play comes in, and it's you run this play right now. We're not throwing the football.
2:54 to go, 1-point lead, their own 42-yard line. He turns a run into a pass. It's incomplete, so obviously they take no time off the clock. South Florida doesn't have to call a timeout. All right. Yeah, a lot going on here. Napier has 2 timeouts. End of the game, he's not using them on defense. I mean, not even coaching as if he thinks they will get a stop and get the ball back. Well, how do you go home with those timeouts? I don't get it. But I'm very serious. If we were in Gainesville, I would ask the question this morning, what do you do with the defensive lineman? I would suspend him indefinitely. Now, that could turn out to be 1 or 2 games, but I would suspend him indefinitely. I think the kid cost him the game.
Absolutely.
South Florida was still on their own 24-yard line. They had just done nothing with the play. The play was going to get to the 2-minute warning, by the way. I would suspend him indefinitely. But, Mark, your point, this ain't the pros. There's no union. You can't find the kid. So what do?
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Well, I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters, Floormeisters.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Was the shoe toss, was that a defensive player that took the shoe off
Yes.
another player and then threw it?
Yes, it was in the swamp. It was late, I believe, in the 2020 season. They're in the national championship picture. They're in the top 10. They're going to go to Atlanta. They're going to play Alabama, and the winner's probably going to the playoff. And then the defensive player threw his shoe, 15-yard penalty, kept the drive alive. LSU beats them, and it really begins Dan Mullen's downfall, even though they had a heroic effort in Atlanta against Alabama, but they lost every game the rest of that season, including the bowl game against Oklahoma. They got routed. Dan is the horrible 2021, and he's replaced. Michael, my thought was when it was 13-12 mid-fourth quarter of how many people were about to be eliminated from all their suicide pools. That's my thought. But quarterback with 3 turnovers, by the way. Not good. That's because, certain people said maybe you should wait before we put him in Canton, but
Hey, Irish football, great to see you after a week off. What happened in that Notre Dame-Miami game? Shut up. Do me a favor. Shut up and go away. Really and truly, you're a tool.
Yeah.
You're not a nice person, period. You're just not a nice person, and you're now proving that you're a tool. Go away.
Yeah, not showing your face last week. You can't be taken seriously.
You're a tool, dude.
In the chat anymore.
1-0, baby. Hey, you beat Tennessee, baby.
Bo Nix with 3 turnovers. He was horrible. Gotta own it.
But you're not a nice person. I will stick by that. You are not a nice human being. I know you had this thing called work. I'm sure. Yep. You had this thing called work. You always have an excuse when you don't hear a comment about you, dude, go away. You're a tool. Like literally, you don't realize the number of texts I get of people that complain about you.
I will say, Irish, there were a lot of people that did say it was a very enjoyable week in the chat room because you weren't on it. And I'm being serious. They did.
You're a tool.
So, not that I think it means anything to you, but it was very telling.
Literally getting personal texts about you right now. That's hysterical.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes to the top of the hour. We don't book a lot of guests on Monday. We want it to be an open show. For you and your comments, whether it's on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line, which of course is 21,000. If you haven't texted us in quite a while, throw in the keyword Miller and then 21,000. You're through the security gate, if you will. Or whether it's on the Twitch or YouTube chat room. All right. We welcome your comments on this overreaction Monday, although in Gainesville in South Florida, I'm not sure it is. Billy Napier, welcome to Kalen DeBoer's world from a week ago. Hello. Time now for
the starting five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is the starting five.
If I could hold off for 10 seconds, Mark, did you see when it was still 1.8 billion, the Powerball? And you know, the local TV stations all around the country, you go out and you do your lottery story, people buying tickets, and hey, what would you do if you won the Powerball? And they went up to the lady in Alabama and she said, well, I donate the first 70 million to buy out that football coach. Sorry, honey. Apparently the two winners came from what, Texas and Missouri? So, all right, to the NFL we go. What a wild game in Atlanta. I thought it was going to be the wildest game of the day until last night in Buffalo. But first off, the game took nearly 3.5 hours. There was no weather delay. This just was a long, a 7-8 minute review with like 2 minutes left in the game type situation. Anyway, Baker hits Egbuka on a 25-yard touchdown with 59 seconds to go to put the Bucs up 23-20. Then Atlanta drives down. They're in position to tie, and Kim, their clutch kicker, or Koo, I think it is, he missed from 44. And if I told you everything else that went on, we'd be here for an hour. But anyway, the Bucs go to Atlanta and beat the Falcons 23-20. Whew. Mark, you, I think, get to pound the table and remind everybody all year long. You know who I said the Bucs should draft?
Egbuka. That's who they needed. That was the guy. 2 touchdowns. Looked like a pro from day one.
Yep. Hey, the Jags look good. And you know what? Even with the hour and 15-minute weather delay, they still look good. We said that Liam Cohen was going to turn Jacksonville into a running team. How about 143 yards rushing for Travis Etienne?
Helps when you bust one for 71, but
yeah.
But yeah.
Running the football.
The football.
Jags dominated Carolina 26-10. And I believe they're in first place in the South because everybody else in the division, I believe, Indianapolis won.
There's no way
to
not be in first place after you win your first game.
Oh, that's right. The Colts, who lose week 1, 11 consecutive years, they didn't just beat the Dolphins, they dominated them. They led 30-0 in the fourth, and the game wasn't that close. Daniel Jones with 3 touchdowns, 1 passing, 2 rushing. Tua had 3 turnovers.
The good news is Miami couldn't block. Their newly found defense couldn't get a pass rush. They couldn't run. And Tua gave the ball to the other team a lot.
33-8, the Colts, and the game wasn't even close to that close. Last night, when Baltimore went up 40-25, there's some of you who went to bed. You may be surprised to find out that Buffalo won 41-40. Once again, I only have about 13 minutes this segment to get all the information in. But anyway, Buffalo scored Okay, then Derrick Henry fumbled second play of a drive, so Buffalo got the ball back quickly. They scored a touchdown, missed the 2-point conversion, but then the Ravens, who moved the ball all day, had a 3-and-out, punted, and Josh Allen did Josh Allen things and got him in position. And for those of us in Southwest Florida, Matt Prater, 41 years old, he was sitting on the couch a week ago. Bills have an injury at kicker. They called Matt Prater and said, listen, that Moulton guy covered you in high school. I know you're old, but you can still kick, right? He said, yeah. Good, we need a kicker. And Matt Prater kicked the game-winning field goal from 32 yards out as time expired, and the Bills beat the Ravens 41-40 in what will go down as one of the 5 best Bills regular season games ever. And the Ravens just have to be shaking their head going, how come we can't close out these games against good teams? What is our problem? Green Bay dominated Detroit. This game also not nearly as close as the final score. 27-13 Packers, 4 sacks, one of them by Micah. Jordan Love with 2 touchdowns. He looked pretty good. 27-13 Green Bay. Niners, they drove 68 yards in 7 plays with under 4 minutes to go to beat Seattle 17-13. Seahawks were in position to come back and win. Pat Kerwin on our show said Bosa's going to have a big day against those tackles. Bosa with a strip sack with under a minute to go to secure the win for the Niners. The Rams, in a slugfest against the Texans, held the Texans to just 265 total yards. An early third quarter touchdown held up 14-9 Rams over the Texans.
That was your kind of game there, David. I thought of you. I had that game on one of the other TVs. I'm like, Moulton's probably loving this right now.
Except for the fact I had the Texans in 3.5, which didn't do me any good. It's not often you can have 9 total yards in the second half and win a football game. The Bengals had 9 total yards in the second half against the Browns and managed to win 17-16, in large part because Cleveland's new kicker missed an extra point and then missed a 36-yard field goal with 2:25 left that would have given them the lead.
Not a good day for the kickers out there, David.
Unless you're Chris Boswell of the Steelers.
Bingo.
Who drilled, and I mean drilled. In fact,
that was good for 65 easy.
This could be the new definition of the word drilled.
Yep.
Chris Boswell's 60-yard field goal with 1:03 to play to help the Steelers overcome the Jets 34-32. Oh, by the way, Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdown passes. And after the game, he said, quote, I wanted to beat everyone in the Jets organization. Unquote. Washington dominated the Giants 21-6. Arizona got 2 TDs from a sick Kyler Murray and beat the Saints 20-13. Same score in New England, only the Raiders were the winners. Geno Smith, 362 yards passing. Genti held in check, but he did have a rushing touchdown. Denver was awful. Bo Nix with 3 turnovers, but they were playing the Titans, and that defense damn near won the game single-handedly. Cam Ward in his debut, 12 of 28, 112 yards, a fumble. He was sacked 6 times. Monday Night Football tonight, Vikings a 1.5-point favorite in Chicago against the Bears. Vikings under Kevin O'Connell, 26-9 in 1-score games in 3 years. So they play a lot of them, and they win about 3 out of every 4. So if you think it's going to be a close game tonight, you should play the Vikings. Baseball, Yankees 3-run first. They beat Toronto 4-3. They're just 2 back in the East with 3 weeks to go. Boston 3 in the 9th beat Arizona 7-4. It was Alex Cora's 600th win as Red Sox manager. Seattle, with the most runs they've scored in 13 years, beat Atlanta 18-2. Oh yeah, the big dumper with number 53. With 3 weeks left in the season, Cal Raleigh. And they pick up a game on Houston, who lost to Texas 4-2. Houston's lead is 2.5 over Seattle. Texas, a 1.5 games behind Seattle in the wild card. Kansas City fell to 2 back in the wild card race as Minnesota beat them 5-1. Byron Buxton with his 30th homer. Cleveland won 3 straight from the Rays. Beat them yesterday 2-1. Guardians 2.5 back of Seattle for the final playoff spot. The Rays fall below 500 and 4 back for that
Stick
final
a fork in the
playoff
Rays,
spot.
David.
Yeah,
Stick
probably.
a fork in them.
Miami avoided the sweep. They beat the Phillies 5-4. However, the Phillies lead in the East is 7. Magic number's 13. They host the Mets for 4 beginning tonight. Mets lost at Cincinnati 3-2. Their lead for the final wild card is 4 over both the Giants and the Reds. Milwaukee beat Pittsburgh 10-2. Their lead's 7.5 over the Cubs, who gave up 5 in the ninth and lost to the Nats 6-3. Giants had won a bunch in a row, but then they lost 2 in a row over the weekend to the Cardinals, including to Sonny Gray and company yesterday, 4-3. Did you see how the Dodgers lost Saturday? All right. Yamamoto's got a no-hitter with 2 outs in the ninth, gives up a homer. The bullpen comes in, gives up 4 more runs, and they lose. Dodgers snapped the 5-game losing streak, beat Baltimore yesterday 5-2. Ohtani with 2 homers. He's got 48. San Diego's just a game back. They beat Colorado 8-1. Angels over the A's 4-3. Your Tigers, Mark, lost again to the White Sox 6-4, but their lead's still 8.5, and their magic number to win the Central's 11 with 3 weeks to go. Alcaraz beats Sinner at the U.S. Open 6-4 in the 4th. The kid's 22 years old. He's got 6 majors. To give you an idea, that's how many majors Stefan Edberg and Boris Becker had. Okay, you want to hear a couple guys who have 7 majors? McEnroe and Vilander. You want to hear a few guys who have 8? How about Connors, Lendl, and Agassi? Carlos Alcaraz, 6 majors at the age of 22. And Sinner's 24, and he's got 4. This could be a Federer-Nadal run in which everybody's looking for the next Djokovic. And you know what's funny? You know who the 3rd best player in the world is?
Djokovic.
College football, the polls are out in the AP. Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, Oregon, Miami. Your top 5. So Miami at 5. Georgia dropped 2 spots to 6. Illinois and Florida State in the top 10. The Illini 9th, the Noles 10th. South Florida 18th. Bama 19, Auburn 24th. In the coaches poll, for what it's worth, Miami 6th, Florida State 12th. South Florida is only 23rd. What's the coaches got against South Florida? Lighten up, Francis. Or what's the assistant SIDs got against South Florida? Because they're the ones voting in the coaches.
David, what they have against South Florida is fear that Alex Golish is coming for the job of the guy they work for, and then they are out of a job.
NASCAR, Denny Hamlin, he may be losing in court with Michael Jordan against NASCAR, but he's won 5 times this year. Wouldn't it be something if he ends up winning the title? He's never won it before. He's won 59 races, but never the Cup championship. He won at Gateway yesterday. They race at Bristol this coming weekend, and then they'll drop 4 guys out of the playoffs. WNBA, the Fever clinch a playoff spot. No Caitlin Clark, though, for the rest of the year. And the Aces of Las Vegas have now won 14 in a row. They beat Chicago, who suspended Angel Reese.
You mean after she said everybody on the team sucks except for one player?
Right. But they let her play the next game. It was a delayed suspension. And then they suspended her. By the way, this Ryder Cup is going to be intense. Here's how you know. Rory McIlroy. See, the amateur version of the Ryder Cup is called the Walker Cup. Rory McIlroy sent a taped speech to the Great Britain and Ireland team, talking about how great it is to beat the Americans in the States. Okay, I did it as an amateur. I did it as a pro, and we're going to do it again next month. So Bryson DeChambeau, he found out about it. He flew out to California. He showed up in person late on Saturday and stayed on Sunday, okay, to inspire the Americans, who took 8.5 of the 10 possible points yesterday, and the U.S. retained the Walker Cup. Yeah. And it just,
I don't even care anything. I mean, that's all cool and all that. They played the Walker Cup at Cypress Point.
I know they did.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. I can't believe Cypress Point allowed this to happen. Everything about this is fantastic. This is as hard of a golf course as there is to get onto in the world.
Yes, it's probably number 2 in the States to Pine Valley. Okay, you could get on Augusta easier than Cypress Point and Pine Valley.
Yes, so the fact that they had a Walker Cup there, I was like, damn.
I know. And that at 7 minutes before the hour was the starting 5. 5 big stories. And yes, the Walker Dam Cup here.
He's got Ryder Cup fever. He does.
I do.
Still a couple weeks away.
I'm in. I am all in, baby.
We have a poll question up. It's a very simple one.
Yep.
Who gets fired first? Mike McDaniel, Billy Napier.
Yeah.
Vote accordingly.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 13325. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
Shoeless Joe Sports Cafe is where your fantasy football draft should be. Free private rooms, Wi-Fi, plus food and drink specials. In August, Shoeless has bingo and trivia Tuesdays and Thursdays with your chance to win free wings and beer for a year. Fridays, live music on the deck. Saturdays, karaoke on the deck. Plus daily meal specials like Wednesdays, $6 wings and half-price pizza. Watch all your baseball and football at Shoeless Joe's, your home for good food, good times, and good sports in the Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers. So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters. Floormeisters.com.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Irish, it's really simple. Go to the bathroom, look in the mirror.
Sunny
They are
down
in the
there.
American Athletic Conference Sunday. Or no, the American. It's not the American. It's just the American now.
Just
I
the
screwed
American.
that up. They're just the American.
Brother. Brother. Can you play that every hour?
Oh, hell yeah. Let me get it up.
Empire, we don't block folks unless they swear or unless they're a
I'm
bot.
not even swear, but I'm getting close. I have to be honest. Everything I got going on in my life right now, I don't need him, but I don't care. He's a tool. He doesn't help the show in any way, shape, or form. He brings it down.
You have negatively impacted the chat room, I will say. That's my biggest complaint with you.
You bring the show down, dude. You do not help our show one bit. Most everybody in the chat room actually helps the show. You do not. You actually bring the show down. But if that's your MO, man, I'm proud of you. Good for you. I'm sure you're probably a great father with that attitude too. Your kids probably hate you. If you were able to have any, because my guess is you probably can't get hard.
Oh, wow.
F him. Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of a guy with a fake name in a chat room. Yes, I'm very jealous. When I go home to my beautiful wife and my family and my nice home, I'm incredibly jealous, Irish. You hit the nail on the head.
5-tool player, his wife. I called that right away.
Yes, you did. You are an evil human being, Irish. You're just not a good person. But you can live with that. That's fine. I find you to be a bad human being.
In fact, to try to lighten the mood here, Mark, poll question. Who was higher on who first? Me on your wife or you on Egbuka?
Ooh, good question.
Close.
That's Adam. It's so funny. I came close. I was literally ready to write a check to Michigan State. And like the next week, the whole, what's his ass, the pedophile there came out. And I'm like, nope, you're not getting any money from me. If he did, he sure didn't come up to me and introduce himself, EB, because he's a coward. He's a keyboard coward. I've got a broken back. I can't even do anything about anything anyhow. And he's a coward. He's a coward of a human being. He's a pathetic keyboard coward.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Overreaction Monday, in which Miller and Moulton, I think, have the appropriate level of snark for an Overreaction Monday. You can tell by our poll question. Who gets fired first? Napier with the Gators or Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins? We ain't messing around. That's how we start the season, baby. Quick sidebar. I do have to laugh. All the Gator fans. I wonder who we're going to get as coach. Hello? He walked off the same field as your current coach Saturday night. Don't overthink this. The dude was Josh Heupel's right-hand guy at Tennessee, and now he's doing what he's doing in South Florida. And not only that, Mark, he brings what to the table?
This ain't the same old South Florida, my brother.
Yeah!
I love him. I love him. And I'm bummed out because for whatever reason, we couldn't work things out without South Florida to get Coach Golish on this year. And I know we're still working at it. He had been joining us for the past 2 years. He had been great to us. So we root for people like that because he was honest. We thought he was doing it the right way. You and I, before this has nothing to do with what they've done the last 2 weeks. We thought they were doing it the right way. We've been on the South Florida bandwagon for a while.
David's been on it for before Golish got the job, telling you at one point they'll be in the ACC.
I still believe they'll be in the ACC. They should be in the ACC. If you're the ACC right now, tell me you're not looking around going, yeah, we got Cal and Stanford. Would we trade them both for South Florida? You better. If you could make that deal today, you better make that deal today. Please. Here's the thing that I love, and I'm sure we won't spend the necessary amount of time on South Florida that they deserve, and goodness knows they deserve it. But Mark, you and I are older souls. Some people listening go, no, you guys are old. Forget your souls. Okay. I'm in my late 50s. Mark gets in his mid 50s. All right. But you know what Alex Golish is doing at South Florida, Mark? What you used to have to do not that long ago. And by not that long ago, I mean 5 years ago. This is how you build a program. You get in a whole new staff 3 years ago. You keep the good players. And then you have 3 straight recruiting classes on top of it. And you actually build the program together. You go through it together. Back-to-back 7 and 6 seasons. By the way, you inherited the job. They went 1-11. So back-to-back 7 and 6 seasons is pretty impressive. And then you open this year with 3 nationally ranked teams, and you're 2-0 against them. And now you go to Miami. And people are going to make jokes. Oh, South Florida, Miami, the game's on the CW. That game was assigned in the summer. I don't know what to tell you. By the way, if you're the CW, is this not the biggest sporting event you've ever aired?
You're not off there. By the way, David, had to pull this up quickly. I thought I left it on my phone over the weekend, but I did not. The Bulls are now only the 4th team in the AP poll era, which began in 1936, to win their first 2 games against ranked opponents while being unranked. The only other teams that did it were North Carolina in 1976, East Carolina in 2008, and Oregon State in 2012. If they were to somehow continue this run and beat the Hurricanes, they'll be the 5th team ever to start a season 3-0 with 3 wins over ranked opponents. The 87 Canes, the 85 Wolverines, the 1960 Hawkeyes, and the 1954 Sooners.
By the way, Bobby Bowden is looking down from above going,
You're damn right he is.
That's how you schedule. That's how you build a program.
That's
how you schedule.
When you started saying that's how you build a program, I was thinking you were going Coach Bowden. I really was.
Bobby, in the early 80s, he's building Florida State. He plays 5 top 20. We didn't have a top 25 then. 5 top 20 teams in a row. I think all of them on the road. He goes 3-2 against them. I mean, honestly, you look at Florida's schedule coming up. It's what Bobby did, and he threw one more on top of it without a bye week. Yeah, that's how we helped build Florida State. But anyway, this is how you used to build a program. And by used to, I mean 5 years ago. None of this transfer portal, 40 new guys type of thing. No. Golish is doing it the old-fashioned way. This is a very, very easy team, coach, and group of players to root for. This is for those of you who loved how college football was until 10 minutes ago. This is what they're doing. By the way, they're 16-point underdogs at Miami. Who is disrespecting the Bulls more? The coaches who vote them 23rd in the poll this week, or the odds makers? How do you not take the points right now?
Right now. Right now. Could not agree with you more.
I mean, hell, the defense is they've played 2 ranked teams. They've given up 23 total points. I mean, you're getting 16 to start the game.
Not to mention, look, you're playing at Miami. It's South Florida. This isn't going to be like a Florida game. I wonder if the game will sell out by the time kickoff comes. And if it does, it's going to be with South Florida Bulls fans buying up the extra tickets. There's no heat factor that's going to give you an advantage if you're the Canes, obviously.
Now, with that being said, can we go back to Billy Napier and the Gators? Something we have yet to mention today, Mark. So how many points did the Gators score?
That would be 16.
So how many touchdowns did they happen to score?
1.
Okay, who is calling the plays for the 4th year in a row for the Florida Gators?
Billy Napier.
How many years have a lot of people been begging, pleading with him to give up play calling?
I really think since about midway in year 1.
Okay. Who gave up play calling this year, his 4th year, by the way, at Florida State?
Yeah, that'd be Mr. Norvell. Yeah.
Right. So that's another thing working against Billy. He is nowhere to pass the blame. He's insisting on calling the plays still for, once again, year 4 in a key spot. They don't have the right number of people on the field. What the? Come on, this ain't that complicated.
Hey, and look I give Lagway, I don't know about credit, but yeah, credit. Because in the presser after, he basically said it's not, the play where I threw it was a run pass. I passed. I've got to be better than that. Okay. I'll give you credit for owning up to audibilizing that call to throw it. However, I'll still put blame on the head coach. Because before you go on the field for that series, you have enough time there to explain 10 seconds to your quarterback. Hey, we're running the ball. We're eating clock. Okay. Don't mess with the plays here. I don't care what the look is. We're going to drain the clock. We're going to get out of here with a win. Okay. You got it? Good. Go get him. That's literally all it takes. I mean, am I wrong there, David?
No, Jimmy Johnson took audibles away from Dan Marino, for goodness sake. Billy Napier could have taken them away from DJ Lagway on first down. Now, Jimmy was wrong to take audibles away from Dan Marino. It's Dan flipping Marino. What the hell was he thinking?
But in the 4th quarter with a young quarterback and you're just trying to win the game, sometimes you have to tell him what to do.
I'm sorry. I just have to sidebar. So Jimmy's taking audibles away from Marino and Rondé. They're in a tight spot in Indianapolis. They got to win to make the playoffs. It's 4th and 10. Okay, the play comes in and it calls for Gadsden to run a hook. And Marino looks right at him and says, run the fly. I'll hit you, run the fly. And so Gadsden's running out to his position. He's looking over at Jimmy Johnson, who could cut him. And he's looking over at Dan Marino, who's the guy who's going to throw the ball, and he has to make a decision. Okay, who am I going to listen to, the coach or Marino? And he's telling the story. The person interviewing him goes, who'd you listen to? He said Marino. Caught a touchdown. We won the game. But I digress. Back to okay.
Back to Napier. Again, I mean, penalties that cost them touchdowns.
Right. No big deal.
Undisciplined penalties with the spitting. Stupidity penalties with 12 men on the field. These are ultimately all coming back at the head coach.
Which I have to admit, I can't blame Napier for the kid spitting. I can't. I know you'd say it resembles an undisciplined team, and I know Mark, who the hell? First off, what is going on here? Seriously, what do we do? We're spitting at people now? I mean, honestly, what is going on? Never mind the fact you're in a team sport. This isn't you and Bobby in 6th grade on the playground. You're in a team sport. Okay, you really think you're not going to get caught in this day and age? What are you doing spitting on somebody? 2 minutes to go in a 1-point game? You're going to spit on another player? I mean, which is why I'd suspend the kid indefinitely. And Mark, you said you'd kick him off the team. I'd suspend him and I'd think about it. I don't know whether I'm going to cut you slack and bring you back soon, or whether or not, no, I don't need somebody that's stupid and that's selfish. Selfish on the team. Because you put yourself above the team. You helped cost us that game.
Text lines 21,000. It is now sponsored by Pelican Roofing of Florida. Call today, residential or commercial, 866-9-PELICAN. When Napier does get fired, who do they hire? Golish, yes, please. Besides him? Well, the obvious choice is they'd go to Oxford, and they'd try their ass off to get Lane. I'm not sure they get him. I'm not. I've said this for a year on this show. Ole Miss has cash. So does Florida, don't get me wrong. But he's got it going on at Ole Miss. Does he want to start over at Florida, and why?
I wouldn't go to Oxford. And I love Lane. Honestly, if I'm a Gator booster and Scott Strickland says we're going after Lane, I'd look right at him and go, why are you going to Oxford when it's 120 miles to Tampa?
Because we tried that with Billy Napier, and the leap from that level to us wasn't good enough. They couldn't handle it. That's all.
Okay, and I'd look right at him and said, no, Scott, it's because you hired the wrong coach. He's the right one.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters, floormeisters.com.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 133251.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Here's the thing, Irish. I can do whatever I want. I can. It's called America. I can ban you from this room if I want, but I haven't. You're a terrible human being. And if you did have a drink with me, you never said your name. Because trust me, if you'd have said who you were, I would have walked away from you. You're a rotten, rotten human being. You're just not a good person. That's okay. More power to you, buddy. And I can call you a tool. I can call you inbred. I can say whatever the hell I want. I really can. It's called America, bro. And this is my radio show. It ain't yours. And trust me, if you go away, it's not going to bother anybody. I played golf for the first time last week. I played on Friday. The shot I got in the back is helping. And Irish, I know you say that, but if you honestly think with everything going on in my life right now, if you think at 9:56 and beyond, I think about anybody from this show other than David, you just don't know me very well.
So go back to sleeping with your cousins and do whatever it is you do, Irish. I don't know if Dabo has a coach's show, Sonny. I don't. I know, the only one I talked about was obviously Bellichick not doing his and having Lombardi do it.
Didn't Dabo get rid of the coach's show like at least last year, if not the year before?
I hope you get fired, Irish. Really and truly, I hope you get fired today. But I know the gas station probably needs quality employees.
Hoo-ah. Yeah, Canada relief. This is a bad look for Bill. This is everything I had hoped he was not going to be when he went to North Carolina.
Yeah, the whole Patriot not letting the Patriot scouts in. When you're trying to say you're you're taking what's his face's line there, Tannenbaum's line, you're the 33rd team and you're not letting scouts in. What the hell?
Because it's not about you, it's about your kids.
Right.
That's plus also be the bigger person, even if they won't let you go there. I mean, this is a big reason why you didn't get nobody came after you in the NFL. He had such a good year out of coaching too. Did all that media, poked fun at himself a little bit. Oh man. But you know what? The Dolphins are so bad they'll hire him anyway.
That's interesting.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. This is usually on Fridays where we make our picks, so I think it's a good time for us to review our picks from the weekend that was. And it's a very simple motto, ladies and gentlemen. Live by the hook, die by the hook. Miller and Moulton died by the hook this weekend. Mark Miller had Iowa State. They won. They won by 3. They were giving 3.5. Moulton had the Steelers. They won by 2. They were giving 2.5. Miller and Moulton died by the hook this weekend. But boy, we both got lucky. We had the Bills last night. Oh, mackerel. Down 15, late fourth, come back and win that game and get a winner chicken dinner out of that. Both went 2-3 on the weekend. I do want to pat myself on the back just a little bit. Just a little bit, not much. I'm not worthy of it. All of 2-8 on the season. How about the fighting Mullins, huh? Huh? How about the fighting Dan Mullins? Taking it to UCLA on national television, no less. Yeah.
I'm going to allow this. But I'm looking at my picks. one big college game, Iowa State, and 4 pro games.
Right.
You 4 pro games and UNLV and UCLA. That's where you went for your college game. I don't even think anybody in California watched that game. I'm not sure Aikman watched that game.
I don't know that they did either. I think the CW had a bigger audience than UNLV, UCLA on CBS. I do. That game was on CBS, not the sports network. I mean, that's like Big Fox. No, they put it on Big CBS. And
by the way, I am a little ticked off at you.
What?
No. You chickened out on Friday. We went through the NFL games.
Right.
And we're coming right up to the break and the Monday night game.
Right.
And you give the old, can I wait till Monday?
Yeah.
So I am literally in NFL picks 1 game up on you heading to Monday. But because you didn't make your pick, you now or later or at some point before 10 a.m. get to make yours. And I've already made mine. You know what it is. I'm guessing you're going to go the other way.
Actually, Mark, here's what's working in your favor. I have no idea what you picked. You know, in my world, you and I, this is all right. Miller and Moulton can't remember what we talked about on the show about 20 minutes after the show ended. Mark wants me to remember what he said 72 hours ago on the Vikings-Bears game.
You know what's a dadgum good point.
Honestly, I have no idea who you picked. All right, fine. I'll take the Vikings. Okay. I should take the Bears. Okay, but I'm going to take the Vikings because I actually believe that from a roster standpoint, they have a top 3 roster in the NFC outside of the quarterback position, which is an idiotic statement for me to say because it's kind of an important position. But I mean, damn. I mean, they're better. They went 14-3 last year. Their roster's better. If J.J. McCarthy can play a little bit. So
you're right.
I'll take the Bears don't win division games. All right. Although the rookie head coaches, by the way, went 1-3. Not new head coaches, because you can't count Vrabel and Pete Carroll. Rookie head coaches. Liam Cohen, the only first-time head coach to get a W yesterday.
So, yeah, Schottenheimer lost in Dallas. Kellen Moore lost with the Saints. And then Aaron Glenn lost with the Jets.
Right. So, rookie head coaches went 1-3. I'll go with the Vikings tonight. I'll lay the 1.5. By the way, so you're 12-3, huh, on your picks?
I think that's right.
Because I went 11-4. Well done by you.
Yeah, I got you on a couple of games: San Francisco, Seattle, and Rams. Houston.
Yeah, there you go.
And you got me on one game. You took Indy. So Sunday morning, I sent a text to our old producer.
Okay.
Early in the day, Trent, the big Lions fan.
Right.
And I am longtime friends with Trent's father. So I sent it to the two of them. And I know that Trent's father likes Miller Lights as much as I do. And it was 9 a.m, and I sent the text, game day, boys, 4:25 kick. When are you cracking the first beer? Go Lions. And the old man answered first and said, soon. I'm actually at Lambeau going to the game today.
Ooh.
Bucket list. And I'm like, that's awesome. We chat a little bit. And I said, family with you? And he said, no, going with coworkers. That's what woke his son up, who said, I think this is his payback for me not taking him to the playoff game. He's at Lambeau without me.
Yep.
I said, yeah, and you deserve it, kid. But
yep.
I left the old man alone because he was at the game. I was texting Trent during the game. And about mid-third quarter, he just responded with, I'm in full panic mode.
Is this Trent, the Dolphins are going to win 10 or more games, Bally? Yep. Is that who you texted?
That's it.
Yeah. He had a good day yesterday.
He really did.
Yeah. The team he
really
loved
did.
More than any other was lucky to lose by 14. And I don't know if the Dolphins win 10 games if they played in a Power 4 conference. But,
your point earlier that,
I brought up Danny Cannell's post on X when he ranked teams based on resume and had South Florida ranked the number 1 team in the country. Little tongue-in-cheek, but fun. Your point earlier, if you were to just do the NFL eyeball test from week 1, the Dolphins are on the clock. That was the worst performance of the week, and it wasn't close.
Yes, it was worse than the Giants because the Giants, at least on one side of the ball, really showed up. Now, once again, the Giants can't block anyone.
Then again, neither can the Dolphins.
No, but also the Giants' defense played much better than Miami's defense. So I would say that the worst performance of the weekend was the Miami Dolphins. I would. They are on the clock. Okay, don't get me wrong. The Giants are hovering based on week 1, but they are on the clock.
I will say, and obviously I'm very high on the Bucs this year, the Bucs didn't play great.
No, defense hung them in, kept them in the game. Baker, until the final drive, Baker did not have a great game, but boy, is he a money player. Golly.
But that's one of those, that's a road division win.
Right.
That's a big week 1 win for the Tampa Bay Bucs. They got skunked last year by Atlanta. They lost both games.
Yep. I'll tell you what, though, Penix played his heart out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, going the 2 dives to the end zone, okay, late in that game. I mean, he left his guts on the field yesterday.
He did. I will say, is that McMillan, the corner for the Bucs, helped Penix out twice because those are 2 picks that you and I would have caught.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just dropped 2 balls that would have been game change. The last one particularly would have sealed the game, but both would have been huge interceptions, and you just have to get those. You know, takeaways are a big deal. That's the difference in this league.
I know it's tough when you lose. If I'm a Falcons fan, I am taking a little bit of solace. You did get some I know Tristan Wirfs wasn't there, but you got some pressure on Baker. You know, you invested an awful lot in the offseason on your defense. They were a lot better yesterday. They were worlds better yesterday than they were in the second half of last season for sure.
Dolphins fans chiming in on the text line, the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. I think Miami needs to bring back Flores. As a lifelong Dolphins fan, it was 2:06 p.m. yesterday, and I said, I'm done with this team.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm with you. That was as lackluster of a performance as you saw all weekend long. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening. For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Dolphin fans coming to the rescue in our poll question. Napier with an early lead, and here come the Fins fans.
Well, I mean, I'll come back with this text. I'm a Dolphin fan. They suck on offense, defense, special teams, coaching. Quarterback play worst game I've ever seen in 25 years, and they've sucked for 25 years. I sent a text to both Trent and I was texting with Kessel. I watched that Lions game. There wasn't one thing they did well in that game.
No,
they got beat everywhere. They couldn't run. They couldn't throw. They couldn't block. They did. I mean, Jordan Love sat there. He could have had his nails done in the pocket. There was so much time. I think at the deadline, Adam, I don't think he's really tradable before the deadline. So I think it'll be closer to the deadline. Plus, he's got to have a couple of good games before you can trade him.
I could be wrong, but to me, I thought trading Tyreek Hill is the equivalent of trading Kirk Cousins this year. From a cap standpoint, it's not a good move for the Dolphins and Falcons. To the gentleman who talked about in the final 2 minutes, coaches can't review, the league / the booth reviews. So the league missed the Falcon player stepping out of bounds. Yes, technically the Falcons ran up to the line of scrimmage and spiked the ball, and usually you're not allowed to go backwards if they've already run another play. But the league had to admit that the league messed up. The officials are part of the league. The guy stepped out of bounds in the final 30 seconds. They had to get that right. I mean, even Raheem Morris was arguing with the officials saying he stepped out of bounds. We should lose the yardage, but we should have 12 more seconds on the clock. So I'm actually glad they did that. I don't know if technically by rule they were allowed to. I think they are in the final 2 minutes. You're allowed to do something like that, but I'm actually glad they got it right. The guy stepped out of bounds.
Oh, I disagree, Clark. I mean, they fixed it. I'm with David. They fixed it. If they didn't do that and we were talking about it the other way, they fixed it. I don't have a problem with that.
Besides, I'm assuming you're a Bucs fan. You won. But I want them to get it right. What's the point of having a rule if you get it wrong? Fly, Panda Fly, I think, quite frankly, if Henry doesn't fumble, the whole thing doesn't happen. I mean, did they think they were going to win? Sure, up 15 with 7 minutes to go, they thought they were going to win. But the Henry fumble was what made that whole thing happen. But they could have put it away on offense. They scored all those points against the Bills defense. And when they needed to get a first down or two to put the game away, they couldn't get a first down. So
Irish, I'm kind of sick of talking to you, but I'm really only negative towards you. If you ask anybody else, I've seen a lot of these people in public. I'm the furthest thing from negative all the time. I'm negative towards you. You are not a nice person. You really are. You attack me constantly, and I'm supposed to just sit here and take it. When I'm not here, you attack me, and people told me and sent screenshots. So if you're going to attack me all the time, I'll attack back. I'm good at it, brother. Yeah, I went Alex Golish there, David.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes to the top of the hour. That's when Joe Henderson, who covers the Bulls of South Florida, why they're only 18th in one poll and 23rd in another, we have no idea. Who do you want them to beat now? Miami on the road? I mean, do they get in the top 10 if they do that? My goodness. But Joe Henderson will join us at the top of the hour. Hey, we came on an Overreaction Monday with the appropriate level of snark. And if you don't think so, check out our poll question. Mark, what's our one and only? We are standing, fists on our hips, standing chest out with pride on this one, baby. What is it?
Who gets fired first? Mike McDaniel, Billy Napier. And
Yeah.
right now, McDaniel getting 63% of the vote, and Billy Napier lost to South Florida.
Hello.
Wow.
Early in this one, Napier was in the lead, but man, the Fins fans are down the backstretch. Fins fans are coming. I don't know about the turn in the race for home, but right now, down the backstretch, the Fins fans are making their move. They're done. One game in, they're done.
I got to say something, too. And you and I have always been Tua backers.
Yep. Big Tua backers.
That
was not good.
Those interceptions were awful.
Oof.
I mean, bad. Like,
Oof.
for a guy who, one of the things we liked about Tua and have always liked about Tua is that he was a very accurate passer.
Mm-hmm.
He was awful yesterday.
Awful.
Whether he had time or didn't have time, he was not accurate. The interceptions were on him. And weren't tip balls. Sometimes interceptions not a quarterback's fault. And I know there are a lot. I think it's, Trey Wingo doesn't think that quarterback's record should be an important stat. And interceptions, every interception tells a story. Okay. I've backed Tua for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no. He was just terrible yesterday.
Terrible.
There's
no two way. For those of you that are coming at us as being Tour supporters and saying, I told you so, I got nothing. I literally have nothing.
We got nothing for you.
Nothing.
Nope. That was awful.
Pelican Roofing of Florida text line, David, some doozies. I'm a Dolphins fan. They suck on offense, defense, and special teams. And coaching. Quarterback play, worst game I've seen in 25 years. And they've sucked for 25 years. Another texter. This one's an all-time. This is great. My 4-year-old took a pretty hard fall yesterday that resulted in a couple of stitches. He showed a level of toughness that the Dolphins could learn something from.
Oh, here we go. Oh, baby.
I'm a Fins fan, so I can't vote twice. This sucks. I'm sick to my stomach. As a Gator fan and a Dolphin fan, I hope they both get fired at the same damn time.
Doesn't Billy have 2 bye weeks before McDaniel has his? Doesn't he have a bye week like late September, and then he's got the bye week before Georgia? I mean, the Gators do have 2 opportunities to fire Napier, I believe, before the natural bye week that you'd look to fire McDaniel here.
I'm telling you right now, if he goes over against LSU and Miami, he could be done before Texas.
That would be unfair, though, wouldn't it? It's LSU and Miami. mean, they're both in the top 10. Hell, in one poll, they're both in the top 5. Both games are on the road.
Okay. All right. I'll give you all of that, David. I'll give you all of that. Let's just say one of the two games against good opponents that the Gators look exactly like the Dolphins did yesterday against the Colts.
Oh, well, then that's a problem. That's a problem.
I mean, you're right. If it's 230 to 27 games and they're hard fought and they're close, I got you. But what if they get their doors blown off in Baton Rouge?
No, that's a problem. It is. No, I'll grant you that. I'm telling you, Scott Strickland ain't fire him unless he's told to. And remember, he doesn't have a president, right? Remember, they selected some guy
right.
and the committee said no.
Right.
So they're still without a president. They didn't have one a year ago. They don't have one now. I mean, Scott's not answering to anybody.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
To anybody except the big money people. The only people that are telling Scott Strickland to fire Billy Napier are the money people.
Another texter. The Dolphins are crumplers, not folders.
Okay. Well played there. Goes back to a toilet paper poll question 2 weeks ago. Okay. Do you fold it? Do you crumple it? That's well done right there.
Well done.
Outstanding.
It really is.
Yep. American Paint Supplies hotline. All right. Joe Henderson will join us on it coming up in about 15 minutes. Mark, sun's up in Chicago. Okay, it's 54 degrees. It feels like 46. I'm just trying to warm up the Gator and the Dolphin out there and say, no, it could be worse. You know, you could be living somewhere where you walk outside right now, it feels 46. And it's summer. No, you're still not making you feel better. I'm trying. I really am. I have a heart. I do. Of course, I was the one who came up with the snarky poll questions.
Last night, by the way, prior to kick of Baltimore and Buffalo, that question was done.
It's a good question. It's a damn good question.
Yes, it is.
Oh, man.
Longtime listener of the show did this just for me. Even Kent Herbeck thinks the Dolphins suck. He crushed me in 87. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not, I've been an anti-Kent Herbeck guy. I'm sure he's a wonderful human being,
and he really is.
He crushed me.
Mark hates him.
Crushed me.
Yep. Oh, he was emotionally attached to that 87 Tigers team. Oh, boy.
Dolphin is snarky this morning. My fins are like a lawn chair. They won't stay up, just folds. It's like toddler time with McDaniel running the daycare. I'm sick of this.
See, this is where the power of television also really rears its head. Because when they go to the Mike McDaniel cutaway shots, what are all Dolphins saying out loud? I mean, the level of, because doesn't he look like he's an actor in a movie? Isn't this Pacino on the sidelines of that Miami team in that fake league, okay, that he was coaching in? I mean, seriously, that's what Mike McDaniel looks like. He's playing the role of a head coach in what is hopefully a cool B movie that will get a lot of run on cable and Netflix. That's what he looks like now. He's become a caricature.
He really needs to buy pants. I mean, at the end of the day, if the bottom of his pants came down to the top of his shoes, would you, Dolphin, feel any differently about this guy? Because when D. Wade was sporting the capris, they were winning titles. You can look the other way at a fashion faux pas if a team is winning.
Yes, you can. In fact, you go, he's so cool, he's making his own fashion.
Exactly.
Right. Pants. I'm sitting here going, I think they need to buy him a running game, but okay, we could start with pants. Khakis. Okay. How about some khakis?
Okay, I'm going to stop you with that. And I know you were traveling yesterday and a lot going on, and I know you didn't get into Chicago until about halftime because you and I were texting. Buy him a running game. Achane can't run up the middle. Like, he can't be a power back. They don't want to use Gordon in that situation. Oh, yeah, by the way, I don't know if this team can block.
No, I know. We still don't know that, right? The answer is still no more than yes.
You know, I asked Chris Perkins last week, what is his counterpunch for teams who have figured out how to defend the Dolphins? Safety high, don't let Tariq be. You guys all know it now. I'm not going to bore you with details like that. I'm not an X's and O's guy all the time. But he said run the football. They've got to run the football. They can't.
No,
and that was the Colts. It's a good team at the line of scrimmage. They are.
Yeah.
They really are. They've had no quarterback play and essentially have played 2 years of 500 football with terrible quarterback play. So give Steichen a little bit of credit for what he and they have done. And I think that I set it up, I thought they were a more physical team. I just thought at the end of the day, Tua would be able to win the game over Daniel Jones. Tua sucked. I mean, he was terrible.
And while I don't think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback, I picked the Colts, and I picked the Colts to make the playoffs, in part because of the schedule being in the AFC South. I thought they could take advantage of it. But B, I thought Tyler Warren was going to make a big difference. Daniel Jones has never had a Tyler Warren. Didn't have a guy like that with the Giants. He had Saquon, who he could rely on, handing off and throwing the ball out of the backfield. But he didn't have a tight end. Come on now, what have we talked about for years? Best thing you can do for a quarterback is get him what? Get him a tight end. If you can't get him a left tackle or a number one wide receiver, get him a tight end. That kid's a problem. He was a problem on Saturdays. He's going to be a problem on Sundays.
By the way, what do the Dolphins have at tight end, David?
Well, they had one, Mark.
Yeah, they did.
They did. He caught like 88 passes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 8 touchdowns. Right. They sent him to Pittsburgh.
They did.
And they didn't get a tight end back.
No, and they could have because Pittsburgh has 100 of them.
Right. But apparently they didn't even ask. So they signed a guy who had professed over a year earlier that he had lost his love for football, didn't want to play anymore. And so they signed him. So, of course, they signed him to a veteran minimum. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They gave him $6 million. Oh, yeah. He still has barely practiced and wasn't on the game day roster yesterday. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Don't you have to fire the coach that recommended him? Don't you have to fire the general manager who signed him? Don't we need some level of accountability here? Oh, boy.
And at the end of the game yesterday in New York, it was Jalen Ramsey that made the big play to seal the victory for the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Just not to throw salt on an open wound there, Dolphin.
Yeah. So who gets fired first? Billy Napier, Mike McDaniel? That's our poll question. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X, and vote accordingly. I can't believe McDaniel's winning. Napier's got 2 bye weeks before McDaniel does. Man, Dolphin is honked.
Yes, they are. Well,
1 game in.
And look we said it. There is a major significance to winning week 1 in the NFL. It doesn't make a damn bit of sense.
Nope.
Out of 17 games, the importance of week 1, but basically half the winners of week 1 make the playoffs and a quarter of the losers make it. It's a little different than that now that we've added playoff teams, but the significance is still there. And when you looked at the Dolphins' schedule, the Dolphin was going, we can be 4-1 through 5. This sets up well for us. Now, what do you think?
I was going to say, if you had the Dolphins and you were thinking glass half full, now when you look at that same schedule and you go through it, what are you forecasting? The first time you went through it, you added up 10-7. Now, how does it add up?
Unbelievable.
Yikes.
Unbelievable. Patriots next week for the Dolphins.
And don't worry, after that, it's the Bills on the road on a short week. You'll be fine there.
I will be curious because it's the home opener, and now a lot of Dolphin fans will probably not want to go, but it's the Patriots. It's a division game. The building will be full. If things start out ugly for Miami, how vocal will the fans be towards Tua and McDaniel?
Vocal. How do you think it's going to be for Billy in the swamp for the rest of the year? Like if this roadie doesn't go well here, LSU and Miami, and then it's bye week and then they come home, right?
David, I'm telling you, unless he does something the next 2 weeks, Billy coached his last home game in the swamp. I don't think they let him back. We'll talk the other side, the upstart South Florida Bulls, next on Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
So I asked him at Floor Meisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floor Meisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floor Meisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floor Meisters. FloorMeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea, and by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe. And for over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122. or NolanAgency.com.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller and Moulton, MillerandMoulton.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
You're right, Robes. It's got to be one way or the other. Mediocrity is the absolute worst. If the Dolphins would have won this and put together, and maybe they still will, put together one of those 8-9, 9-8 years, you either want greatness or just lousy. And, the Bucks will see. The Jags will see. But the Dolphins, that's going to be a long one. The Canes are good. It looks like Florida State may have something to say about it this year. But the Gators, wow. Wow.
And Robes is just crossing his fingers going, please, Dolphins or Vikings, don't perform like the Lions did yesterday. Not on national TV. I had a buddy of mine, big Vikings fan. He had watched the NFL yesterday, and he had had a few. And by a few, I mean like a beer per game. So he's texting me last night going, the last time a team had a second-year quarterback from Michigan who hadn't played much his rookie year, you know what happened, right? I said, you're not going there, are you? Really? You're not pulling the Brady, J.J. McCarthy comparison, are you? I'm just saying. Like,
oh, wow.
Okay. Tell you what, have a couple more call tonight, will you? Yep. Now, Canada Relief, we talked about that. We both had the Bills as the 1 seed, and now we both did think they were going to win week 1 against Baltimore, and we got lucky. But we said, you look at the Bills' schedule in comparison to the, whoever it is you like in the rest of the AFC, and we're like, it's a lot easier.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
We are halfway home in the 239, the 904 in Tampa, St. Pete. Thanks so much for being with us. Final hour of the show, Lake City, Live Oak and surrounding areas, Port Charlotte, Venice and surrounding areas. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X, taking your comments on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. If you haven't texted in a while, type in the keyword Miller just to be safe. Joining us now on the American Paint Supplies Hotline, your one-stop shop for all your coating needs, Joe Henderson, who covers the South Florida Bulls, baby. Green, gold, and bold, part of the Fan-Sided Network. You can follow Joe on X, the letter J, Henderson Tampa. J. Henderson Tampa. Joe, it is David and Mark. Thanks for doing this. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Just kind of like the Bulls.
Well, then you're doing better than that, sir.
They're doing a little more than fine, Joe, no doubt about it. But just How surprised were you? We've seen South Florida play tough competition well, but to not only play them well and then pull it out in the fourth quarter, your surprise factor on a scale of 1 to 10 Saturday was?
Maybe a 5, to be honest with you. I know it's Florida, it's the swamp, it's the SEC and all that stuff. But coming into this season, when I was out there, with Alex Golish and the players, you just got the sense that there was something different about this team. I think it starts up front, offensive line, defensive line. They are so much deeper and better there than they have been, and that's why they were able to persevere in the fourth quarter against the Gators. Remember last year, Alabama, they fell apart late. Miami fell apart late, but not this time. They've got the beef, the strength, the size, and all of that to hang with these teams, and that's what we're seeing.
Joe Henderson, Green, Gold, and Bold. It's greengoldandbold.com. You can follow Joe on X, the letter J, Henderson Tampa, J, Henderson Tampa. You also have to have the belief. Golish has always had the belief. He walked in the door believing we are going to win here. I feel as if now Brown, the quarterback, is turning potential into reality. He's making the winning plays where we thought he had the talent to do so, Joe, but now he's delivering.
Absolutely true. He is a physical specimen. I mean, this dude is a Mack truck, with the football. And we saw this in the Boise State game where he was running for a touchdown, and then as he got to the goal line, a guy was trying to cut him off, and Byram just lowered his shoulder and flattened him. So he's not afraid of contact. He's got a huge arm, but his legs and the running game that he can do is really the X factor on that, because you think you got his receivers covered. You think you may have him bottled up, and he sees an opening, and next thing you know, he's 25 yards down the field.
While what he does running and throwing is impressive, what I came away from the game was, and I saw this in the Boise State game, I thought against Boise, their defense was clearly faster than Boise, and they laid the lumber. They were hitting Boise. The defense came to play against Florida. I don't think they were more physical than the Gators, because that's a pretty physical group, but they matched the physicality of Florida, and I think that had to surprise the Gators a little bit, don't you think?
I would agree with you on that. I know that defense has been kind of a sore spot for the first 2 years that Alex Golish has been here, but they've been building it and building it and building it. And now I think defensively they can go toe-to-toe with pretty much any team on their schedule. I mean, they harassed the Florida quarterback, DJ Lagway, into just a very uneventful night for him. He's quite a talent, but they just were all over him, and they made the plays when they had to make them. And that's the difference between this team and the first two that Alex Golish had. They make the big plays in the big moments.
Joe Henderson, he's been in the Tampa sports scene for a long time, covering South Florida for greengoldandbold.com, greengoldandbold.com. You can follow Joe on X, the letter J, Henderson Tampa, the letter J, Henderson Tampa. You said something, Joe. We made this comment a couple hours ago to us, and we've been on the Bulls bandwagon since Levitt. And we've been on Golish's bandwagon since his opening press conference, for what it's worth. But he's doing something, Joe, that, quite frankly, it almost seems as if you're not allowed to do anymore. He's built this program the old-fashioned way. This isn't with a lot of money and 40 guys in the transfer portal. This is keeping what talent he inherited and building 3 recruiting classes and some key transfers on top of it, this is how you used to build a program. Oh, I don't know, Joe, 5 years ago. And it seems as if this is how South Florida's been built. It's refreshing.
It absolutely is. And the way he approaches recruiting is he'll go after the number one guy in the country. He doesn't care if Ohio State's offering him, $5 million a year, or Michigan is, or whatever. He will make a recruit tell him no, which is very refreshing. And I'll tell you what they've done, particularly with high school recruiting, is that they've redefined USF, because there were some years there where, if you keep your ear to the ground and talk to the high school coaches, USF was essentially a non-presence in Florida, and that just can't be. And Alex Golish has changed that narrative. He recruits Florida first, but he'll get up into Georgia, and he knows where to find the players, and more importantly, how to convince them to come to USF. Because he's getting some players in there that the power conference schools are recruiting and losing against him. So he is building something, not just a team. He keeps saying this. I'm not building a team, I'm building a program. And that's what he's done. And this is, I hope for them, will be the new normal, because they are built to last.
And obviously now, you have to temper expectations if you're the Bulls. Obviously, you want to, keep winning in those things. But Golish, for the first time, I think, has to make sure that, I don't know, where do you base it, Joe? You want them to read some of the clippings. You want them to feel good about themselves, but you got to still keep pushing forward. And obviously, 2 great wins, but they can be a playoff team if they win their conference. This is heady stuff. How do you ensure that they don't read the press clippings too much, if you know what I mean?
That's a great question. And I can answer it in the way Golish would answer it. He's all about the process. You do everything in order to, on Monday you do this, on Tuesday you do that, on Wednesday and so forth. They celebrated the Florida win, but when they got off the bus back in Tampa, it was in the rearview mirror. They immediately turned the page, and the players have totally bought into this thing. And I'll say something else. There's been a culture change out there. They keep saying we've tuned out the noise. We're not listening to the hype. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. We play for each other, and it is a player-led team, which is what Golish has been, trying to create since he got here. The players are holding each other responsible, and when you get that, and you have the level of talent that South Florida does, great things can happen, and that's what we're seeing.
Joe, you literally have been there from the beginning. This is the dream, isn't it? Now they're working on an on-campus stadium. I mean, this was everything that Jim Leavitt talked about and said we could become, and now it's coming to fruition. Is there any way to hold on to this guy? He could be their Beamer, if you know what I mean. I don't mean BMW, I mean Frank Beamer. Is there any way they can keep this together?
Well, I believe that it won't be too long until you start seeing Golish's name pop up on, such and such a team is interested in him, this team and that team, whatever. He's going to be at the top of a lot of lists.
Right.
That doesn't mean he's going to leave. USF has the transformation there. Let's put it this way: in boosters, in financial support has been staggering. And the previous athletic director, Michael Kelly, deserves a lot of credit for that. I think that I would be surprised right now if USF is not already planning, okay, how can we head off the power conferences trying to poach our coach? And there's money enough here to do that. And yes, USF wants to get into one of the power conferences. They've made no secret of that. Realignment probably won't take place for another at least year, maybe two, but they are so primed and ready to step up into that level. So I think there's a good chance that they can hold on to Goldwish. Certainly hope so.
That would be awesome. Joe, safe travels to Miami. Enjoy the marquee matchup of the Bulls and the Canes, a battle of top 20 teams. He's Joe Henderson. GreenGoldandBold.com is where you can read his work, GreenGoldandBold.com. Follow Joe on X, the letter J, Henderson Tampa, J Henderson Tampa. Joe, thanks so much. Hopefully we can do this again soon.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Joe Henderson, kind enough to join us here on Miller and Moulton.
This ain't the same old South Florida, my brother.
He went home there.
Yes, he did. And where better to do it than a team that plays their football in Tampa.
He went Hulkster.
Yeah, he did.
Standing in the swamp. Joe going, well, might be a couple weeks and some teams to start calling. We're like, Joe, they were calling at 8:00 Saturday.
Hell, they didn't want to let him out of the damn building in Gainesville. Miller and Moulton. For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com.
So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters, floormeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
McDaniel keeps adding votes. Every time I look at the polls, his margin gets bigger.
And we've got a decent vote total for us, David.
Yes, especially at this hour. Good morning, everybody. Deadstroke, I think you should just read today. This is where I just think you sit back and enjoy others' work, because their work today should be really good.
And Panda, I guess we could talk about it, but this is where, when we are doing a show in Florida and Tampa here, I mean, most of our markets are in Florida. I'm not going to get into the Bills fans today when the Dolphins lost the way that they did, and South Florida beat the Florida Gators. I mean,
17.5-point dogs, by the way. 17.5. Gators scored 16 points.
So I need to learn how to edit videos, because I said something wrong. I was trying to do something with Maddie, and somehow I called the Cyhawk game the Cyclops game. But Maddie and I did our 5 picks against the number on video, and I'm going to start posting it. Needless to say, she beat me.
Well, sure.
She had South Florida, and she's watching the game, and they're losing. She's, now, wait a minute. How many points do I get? God, I love you.
You're doing a fine job raising that daughter of yours.
Trying.
If she's 11 and she's turning to you going, so Dad, how many points do I have? Well done, sir. Well done. I remember being your daughter's age, and my dad, the few times I'd see him, he'd have the sheet. Here you go, pick 4 winners, son. I'll throw in the $5. You get 10-1. If you win, I'll give you the money.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Mark, our poll questions like that election, every time, they go to commercial, they come back, they put the new vote total up, and you keep expecting one candidate to be tightening the polls. Every time we do a segment, I come back, I look at our poll question, McDaniel keeps widening his lead. I didn't realize the Broward-Dade County vote came in early this time. It's usually late.
No, you are right. And by the way, I owe you an apology.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you were waxing poetically about a rivalry game in football on Friday, and I was having none of it.
The border war, baby.
The border war.
They don't like each other.
They don't. I didn't watch a second of it, but as Saturday was going, Saturday morning into the games was going on, I'm like, this Moulton guy's got a point here.
Kansas and Mizzou. Yeah. Remember, now the one state's trying to take the Chiefs and the Royals away.
Right.
It's getting personal.
It certainly is. I will say, and I am surprised because I received a personal email from a listener, and it's not too hard. I think our emails are on millerandmoulton.com. I'm not even sure. But, you want to email, it's mark@millerandmoulton.com. I don't give a damn. I'll answer you. But I got a long email of someone wanting the Florida backup quarterback to play against South Florida because he didn't like the way Lagway played. I was stunned not to see a second email from him on Sunday after they lost. But another texter gave a unbelievably long, detailed text on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line, 1-888-9-PELICAN, that Western Kentucky was the play against Toledo.
Yes, it was a
Take
very
the money line.
Yep.
Toledo was laying 7.5. It was 45-7 after 3, Toledo.
Well,
sorry about your loss, sir.
Right.
Trust me, Miller and Moulton understand losing games against the number. David had a huge comeback week after week 1. He went 2-3.
Right. Yep. Because I went 0-5 week 1. Let me tell you, though, my unofficial picks, money. Unofficially, this is like off the record. I'm a great quote. On the record, okay, it's on to Cincinnati. I got nothing on the record. Off the record, I'm fantastic.
Speaking of which, how much on the attack should the national media be towards Bill Belichick, not for the horrible loss against TCU or the mediocre win against Charlotte, but for not letting New England Patriots scouts attend any of his practices? He is playing a petty game with the Patriots. They don't like me, so I don't like them. Didn't you say, Bill, that you're essentially the 33rd NFL team stealing Mike Tannenbaum's website, the 33rd team? Solid site. If you're the 33rd team and you're running this like an NFL team, then you are trying to get your players to the next level. By not letting scouts from one of the 32 NFL teams in the doors, how are you helping your young men get to that level?
Yeah, this is why it's a very bad look for him. That first off, he had, Kraft and the Patriots were coming off badly in this, and Bill wasn't responding. He needed to not respond. I mean, that docuseries that the Patriots put out, come on. You do a docuseries on the Patriots dynasty and you essentially give Belichick no credit. Come on. You made people sympathetic towards Bill Belichick, who some people call Bellichick. The other thing, which I really don't understand, he's not dumb, but he's obviously petty and bitter. This is not helping him get another job anywhere, by the way, college or pro. But this is not about you, Bill. Okay, you and the Patriots are at war with each other. That's great. This is about your kids, your players. You're trying to help them isn't this what your whole program's about? Okay, isn't it? You said, I'm going to put together an NFL program. The kids who go to the NFL, well, then you don't start excluding the NFL from your program.
You can't.
Yeah.
It's not that you can't, you don't start. You cannot, under any circumstances, be petty towards any team in the National Football League because you're holding a grudge.
Then you release a depth chart and there's nothing on it. Literally, the ESPN broadcasters showed up to the broadcast. They didn't have any players on the depth chart.
Herb Street said it took until mid-second quarter before they figured out anything close to a depth chart. Now, think about this. You've got the A team for game 1 of ESPN, and you want to piss them off too?
Yeah. No offense. You're cashing their checks. You know how I'd react. Bill, you want to turn this little thing with the Patriots into a mountain? Oh, I'd turn this into a war, but that's me.
But the depth chart thing, that's affecting the broadcast for
Yeah.
everybody involved. It's childish. And we're not picking on Bill here. When the guy who was my alma mater's last coach that got fired, Mel Tucker, did this, you had some colleagues that were working the game, and you're like, what in the hell is this guy doing?
Yes.
You're trying to build a program, and you're telling the national media to go pound sand, essentially? You can't do that. I don't care what coach you are. Napier, Bellichick, Kirby Smart. It doesn't matter. And let's be honest, if Kirby's not doing it, then you probably should do what he's doing.
So, yeah, by the way, North Carolina at Central Florida at the end of this month. It'll be a big game for Scott Frost and the Knights there, and it'll be a big game for Belichick because I think the game's going to get a little national network TV exposure. Bulls are a 16.5-point favorite, or excuse me, underdog in Miami.
Right.
The South Florida is getting 16.5. The game's on the CW. Is that Tom Brenneman? I mean,
yes.
I think we're going to get Tom Brenneman calling the game. 3:30 Saturday on the CW.
By the way, it's a year later. Miami did win the game last year, 50-15.
Yes, in Tampa, and dominated them. Kicked them the whole second half. Kicked them.
So, plenty of time to look ahead later in the week. Today, well, it is Overreaction Monday. Yeah. And that is the crux of our poll question. Who gets fired first? McDaniel, Napier. Right now, overwhelming. You are saying McDaniel.
Wow.
And there are a lot of reasons to not say Napier. And David, you brought it up earlier. I was going back and forth with one of our old friends, Jeff Futera up in Tampa, who said, I think the Natty gets Strickland through this year. And he brought up the fact that you did. No president at Florida. That's the saving grace of Napier right now.
Well,
because I don't know who the boosters call to get him fired.
Well, that's just it, though. You know what, Mark? The boosters could turn that around. That's one less line of defense, too. The big money people may say, we may just do this ourselves. We may go to Scott Strickland, walk into his office and say, we're making you an offer you can't refuse.
You want to keep your job?
Right. He's got to go now. Shoeless Joe's Sports Cafe, your home for all the football and baseball that September provides, plus a nightly food special. Got bingo and trivia Tuesdays and Thursdays, live music Fridays, karaoke Saturdays. Never mind the fact that Shoeless Joe's is going to celebrate Grandparents' Day, National Hot Dog Day, National Cheeseburger Day, all in the month of September. Food and drink specials during every NFL game. Shoeless Joe's, the official home for Ohio State football. Shoeless Joe's, good food, good times, good sports, in the Doubletree by Hilton. Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring. Best service at the best prices. Floormeisters. Floormeisters.com.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Well, see, Bohm, I think you got to slow down. That was you. They did not look good against Ohio State, but come on now, that's a Matt Patricia defense that was excellent against Texas. Give Arch and Texas a little time. They were fine this past week. They didn't play anybody. I get it, but I'm not really sure what you're saying there, Watson. Same energy, what? To have Napier fired? Same energy to say he's great? I don't really know exactly what you're asking us to do there. I'm not arguing. I just don't really get what you're saying. And maybe I'm just ignorant. We haven't, the best one I saw, Logic Man, and I think I saved it. Gosh, I hope I saved it. Tell me I saved this tweet. Ay, come on, Mark. Son of a gun. Anyhow, the high school, Logic Man, or the school district that was associated with this woman. Have you seen the video of you've seen that whole thing with the Philly fan taking the home run ball from the dad? So there was an initial report out that she worked for a school district in New Jersey. The school district has come out and said that she's never worked for us, but I got to find it. It's too good.
Feeney, if you get rid of Napier now, it would cost you 24 million, 25 million. If you wait till at the end of the season, it costs 20 and change.
What's it cost now?
I think it's 24, 25 now. If you wait to the end of the year, I think it's 20. They owe him 85% of what's on the remainder of the contract. He's got this year and 3 more left. He's making around 7.5 for 4 years. So that's 30. 85% of 30 is what? Right, 25-ish. At the end of this year, it's 85% of 22.5. So that's like 19 or so. And the Marlins took care of the kid too, Sonny.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour on this Overreaction Monday. Our poll question lines up with that. Who gets fired first? Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins, Billy Napier with the Gators, and by nearly 2-1, you voting for McDaniel. Wow. His bye week's not until November. Napier's got 2 bye weeks before then. You guys think McDaniel goes first? All right.
Not me. Not me. When they get blown out at LSU this week and lose the following, I don't know if Napier ever coaches in the swamp again.
Because then it's a bye week, and then then it's what, Texas?
Yeah.
Right. Remember, we said he needed South Florida because then here comes the gauntlet where, quite frankly, you can go 2-2 and still be very much in the national picture, the SEC picture, the whole deal. Right.
So one of the stories over the weekend happened in Miami, right? It was the Phillies at the Marlins.
Correct.
If you have not seen it by now, I don't know what rock you are living under. But Bader hits the home run for Philadelphia.
Bader, yep.
Harrison Bader hits the home run. You watched it on Phillies television. It lands in the seats. A guy runs over in a Phillies jersey, grabs the ball, hands it to his son, and then the lady who was one row behind where the gentleman grabbed the ball runs over and first off, the scared look the guy gave was a little pathetic. I mean, the dad's like scared when the lady yelled was a little much for me. But the lady berates the father for stealing the home run ball and goes at it in such a way that the dad finally says enough. Grabs the ball out of his son's mitt, who looked to be 7 years old, 7, 8, the kid, somewhere in that range, I would guess.
Yep.
Takes the ball, gives it to the lady, and just says, take it. I'm not dealing with this. To the Marlins' credit, they caught all of this.
Yep.
Because Philadelphia is showing it on their live broadcast, the whole thing. The announcers back out. They're just watching this. To the Marlins' credit, they immediately sent up one of their employees and gave him essentially a goodie bag with a couple of balls. They ended up getting the kid down at clubhouse level. Bader came out, gave him an autograph bat. Kid wins. Lady is getting crushed. I still have not seen her name. I'm stunned that we don't know more about this woman at this point because the internet's undefeated when it comes to this stuff. But for a moment, there was a connection to the woman in the Hamilton Public School District in New Jersey. So much so that the school district issued a statement. I will read you the statement because it's an all-timer. The woman identified on social media as Phillies Karen is not and has never been an employee of the Hamilton Public School located in Hamilton, New Jersey. Social media and news reports indicating that she is are incorrect. They continue. Anyone who works for our school district, attended as a student, or lives in our community would have obviously caught the ball barehanded in the first place, avoiding this entire situation.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic.
Listen, I'm happy for the young man because he ended up, making out great in all this. Yeah, you would have had to kill me to get that ball away.
You and I both, David. I don't care that it was a woman. I'd have been screaming right back in her face.
Well,
I would have come, and I give the dad all the credit in the world. He was there with his son and daughter. He's there with 2 kids.
Right.
He gave the ball back because he said, I didn't want to do something basically that I would regret. You and I would have done something we would have regretted.
Well, no, I just wouldn't. She would have unfortunately have been still following me and berating me. I mean, I'm not going to in any way, I'm not going to yell at the woman in front of my kids. I'm certainly never going to make physical contact with a woman.
No, I would have yelled. I would have told her to blank off. I guarantee it.
But first off, the ball's in the stands. First one that gets their hands on it wins. That's how it works. Okay, I'm quicker than you. Don't know what to tell you. And secondly, the ball's in my son's glove. Are you serious? I'm going to take the ball out of my son's glove? No way. Honestly.
As a parent, I would have fallen on the sword there. She literally would have had to have beaten me up. And then I still would have told my son, run. Follow your sister and run. Call mom when you get in a safe place.
Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. That lady definitely has a haircut that screams, I need to talk to the manager right now.
That's the problem with video, man. We all make assumptions just based on the littlest of things. Remember when Mandich called me out all those years ago? You came to that conclusion all because you saw a 3-second cutaway on television? You know, what's the conclusion we come to with Mike McDaniel? What did you say earlier? He's got a lot of things going on, but can we just get him some pants?
Get him some pants that reach the top of his shoes. I think that right there would go a long way.
It's man, when they got you on video, it just causes a whole new level of problems. You know, it's the difference between reading the quote and seeing the quote. It's just a totally different league. Golly.
By the way, we had a little side bet of which American League team would be the closest to Seattle. We both lost, for the record.
Right.
Texas
Yep.
is closest to Seattle. I picked Kansas City. You picked the Rays.
Mm-hmm.
The Rays got whooped over the weekend by Cleveland.
They did. They lost the last 2 games. They lost a couple of low-scoring, one-run games, which are their specialty, but it's also Cleveland's specialty. So to review quickly, Seattle's holding down the 6th seed in the American League. Texas, a game and a half back. Kansas City, 2 back. Cleveland, 2.5 back. And the Rays are now 4 back. So they're 4 back with 3 weeks to go, but they literally have to leapfrog now 4 teams. And I don't know if they play any of the 4 the rest of the season either. You know, that's why Cleveland was able to make up ground here on the Rays. They took 3 out of 4 from them in Tampa, so they switched positions in the standings. Do you know final series of the year? Dodgers at Seattle. How interesting that series could be for both teams. Final 3 games of the year. Also, for those that are paying attention in the National League, the Giants, before this weekend when they lost 2 to the Cardinals, had made the big run. They're 4 behind the Mets for the final playoff spot. The Giants and Dodgers play 7 times, Mark, in the final 3 weeks of the year. And then the Dodgers end the season in Seattle, where the Dodgers are trying to hold off the Padres, who they're only up a game on, and Seattle's obviously clinging to the final playoff spot.
By the way, 2 little things to pay attention to. Actually, 3. One's a Miller and Moulton. The 2 other are our buddy Ryan Spader's. One's already come to fruition. The Braves will be under 85 games. He said that on our show, freaked the 2 of us out. And obviously that has been true. But the other thing he said was that the Athletics would go over. And despite, 1-18 over a 19-game stretch? Was it 1-19 or 1-18? One or the other.
Well, it was definitely 1-18. I'll see if they got to 1-19.
The Athletics, if they win 7 the rest of the way, are an over. And Miller and Moulton still begging the Cincinnati Reds to win 7 more games the rest of the way.
Hey.
They're 72-71, 78.5, I believe, was the over-under.
Yep. The weekend did it for us, Mark. They lost Friday to the Mets. They had the bases loaded with nobody out, down a run on Friday, and 3 guys couldn't make contact, and the Mets got out of there with a W, and I started to worry about our over-under. Reds went WW Saturday, Sunday. Technically stayed in the wild card race, only 4 back. They do own the tiebreaker on the Mets, though. Remember, we don't have the Monday playoff anymore. We just go to who won the season series. Reds won the season series against the Mets. So if they finish tied, the Reds go.
The Rays, by the way, have a series with the Red Sox. Nobody else that they're fighting with, but the Rays could have a big influence on who wins the AL East.
because they have 7 left with the Blue Jays.
And the Yankees did what they absolutely had to do. They took 2 out of 3 this weekend at home. Lost Friday and won the weekend. So they're 2 back. Now the Jays own the tiebreaker because they won the season series. But Yankees have a shot to win the East now. And I believe Toronto's record is right there with Detroit's. If you win the East, you could be the 1 seed because Detroit's been losing a lot of games here the last 2 months.
You are right.
They're like
both
within a game of each
82
other.
wins. In fact, Toronto, a slightly better record, 1 up in the loss column, or 1 better in the loss column, however you want to look at that. So there's just a quick look at baseball. You know, lots of text today. A lot of you fired up about our poll question, but a few Bucks fans have chimed in on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. And, one of them said, I wanted Bowles fired by the 3rd quarter. Why? You're on the road. It's a division opponent, and you're hanging. And Baker's not playing well. And look at what the changes that they had to make to that offensive line. With no Wirfs, they're shifting guys all over the place.
Boy, it is something. They don't like him. The Bucks fan base really wants a different coach. And all he did as defensive coordinator was help you win a Super Bowl. And as head coach, he's won 3 consecutive division titles with a better record each year, albeit by only a game. It went from 8 wins to 9 wins to 10 wins. But ever since Todd Bowles has been in Tampa, they've won.
And, we can all get to the reasons why, but you're right. He's just
they don't like
not
him.
Thought of. And I don't, I'm not going to do this black-white thing. I don't think it's that. I think it's a personality thing.
I agree.
Arians had that.
Yes. No risk it, no biscuit. They liked him.
Biscuit. He's great in front of the media, and Bowles is very bland.
Yep.
Even when you hear him on Pat's show, Bowles is just close to the vest, tight-lipped guy. He's not exuberant. And I think people believe that they still need this rah-rah coach. You need a CEO. Bowles acts like a CEO.
Not only that, Bucks fans, ask yourself, say you don't like Bowles. Okay. But just ask this. Do they play hard for him? Yeah, they do. The team likes him. The team has played for him. He's never lost the team. And also think about it. All 3 years, the Bucks have come from behind in the standings in December to win the South that Bowles has been the head coach.
And he's breaking in yet another brand new offensive coordinator. They've gone from Canales to Cohn and now another.
So think about that. He's able to attract good coaches. He's willing, like you said, Mark, to be the CEO, hands off. You do your job. I'll hold you're accountable, but you do your job.
And the offense, he's a defense-first coach. And the offensive guys all love him.
Yeah.
Think about that.
I think Bucks fan who's not high on Bowles, we think you're wrong here. We think you're
But I think it's attitude. I really just think it's his personality. You don't like the personality, so therefore you don't like the coach.
Hey, don't laugh, Mark. It was that way in Philly with Sirianni until they won the Super Bowl. They weren't enamored with him. And we all know what his 1-loss record was, and we're like, you guys are going to get rid of him? I mean,
a month into the season, he was on his way out last year. They won the damn Super Bowl.
Mark, he barely made it to the draft in 2024. They were inches away from firing him. The word was they were talking to Bellichick. And they nearly pulled the trigger on him. And he had gone to the playoffs all 3 years he'd been head coach.
And the person who wanted him fired is talking about a blitz against LA. I don't know what to tell you. The man lives and dies by blitzing. That's who he is.
And there's no doubt. It was a bad call. He didn't have to. It was 3rd and long. It was a tie game. And they went all-out blitz, and Cup beat them, and it cost them, and arguably cost them another Super Bowl because the Rams went on to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, yes, absolutely. He got burned. Yeah.
But that's who he is. And defensively, that's who he is. It's all blitz all the time. You know what you're getting with Bowles on that side of the ball, and they're breaking in another OC, Baker working with someone new, and he got the job done despite not a great performance until the fourth quarter.
When you're craving the real taste of Chicago, there's only one name to know. Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell them Miller and Moulton sent you. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters. Floormeisters.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Okay, Adam, I need you to be honest with us, please. If I remember correctly, on Friday, you admitted that you took the Jags flag down and replaced it with a Gators flag. First off, did I remember that correctly? And B, if true, did you take the Gators flag down? And if so, when? I'll hang up and listen. Buried in bourbon, week one is fluky. There was nothing fluky about that performance, so they got their butts kicked. Adam, come on now, buddy. Not in person, but sure, Sonny. I was 13 when the Canadians beat the Rangers in the finals. Larry, it does not, unfortunately. We were negotiating with them 2 years ago. We had a guy who was advocating for us, a big Gator booster. And I attended the meeting with the people that run the big sports station in Gainesville. And they agreed to carry our show. And then turned around and he had sponsors lined up in Gainesville. And he was going to split it with the station. And they backed away. And we've never been able to get them back to the negotiating table. I left the meeting and the guy said to me, "This is a done deal." Now, Adam, is that it now? Okay, I mean, the Jags flag has to stay up, right? So you left it up Saturday night, but you took it down Sunday morning. All right. He was a better manager than he was a player. He had that one great. The funny thing is, before he had that season with the Braves, he had never hit more than 18 home runs. He said Hank Aaron taught him how to pull the ball.
Think about that, a player today having to be taught how to pull the ball.
Right.
I will say, Bourbon, it is, I know, I'm just busting your chops here, but it's a hell of a statement to make, and you didn't even get the name of the school right. My mom came over for dinner Saturday, and she's watching the game. She goes, "So is this like Central Michigan beating Michigan?" I'm like, "Yeah, yes, it's exactly what it is."
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the bonus hour of Miller and Moulton, Southwest Florida, Tampa, St. Pete, and Jacksonville. Thrilled to be with you on this Overreaction Monday. And our poll question gets right to it. We ain't messing around.
Nobody is overreacting quite the way that Miller and Moulton are overreacting on this Monday. In fact, we've never cannonballed into the deep end from an overreaction standpoint, with at least with a poll question, the way we're diving in today.
No, there was no hesitation.
And this poll question was done before the Bills and Ravens even kicked off.
Right.
I just finished my dinner last night, sitting there getting ready to play a little dice game with the family, and the text comes from David. And normally we do not have a lot of guests, if any, on Monday. There's enough to talk about. But David booked Joe Henderson to talk some South Florida Bulls. And he said at the bottom of it, who gets fired first, McDaniel or Napier? Right now, 66% of you say Mike McDaniel.
Unbelievable.
I'm stunned by that.
I am too.
I really, and look, I get it. I'm not arguing with you. I understand. You're not wrong. But the venom on Saturday is usually greater than the venom on Sunday from the fan base. And while the Dolphins had a humiliating loss and looked lifeless in the drubbing that they took from the Indianapolis Colts, there wasn't one area that the Miami Dolphins can look back at that film and say, well, we were good here. No, not a damn thing. I think they ran 12 plays in the first half.
I believe you're right.
12 plays.
Yep. And
I might be off because I thought I added them up and they had just started the third quarter and I might have missed a stack. But at the most, they ran 14 plays in the first half. I thought it was 12. And it wasn't much better deep into the fourth quarter in the second half.
No. First sustained drive was in garbage time, down 30-0. Yep.
But Florida lost to a directional school on Saturday. And we are big fans of South Florida. We are.
Always
we have been big fans of South Florida since Levitt, David, and I, and our old producer, John Cassio, did our show from outside of Ray J when we were doing afternoons and they were hosting West Virginia. We've been on board a long time.
Yep. We have.
But it's a directional school, and the Gators lost. And you were already iffy on Napier. If Napier doesn't have the November that he has last year, he would have began the season, if he were still the coach, on the hottest seat in America. It's clearly the hottest now. And it's not close. I get it. There's no president. So Strickland is the athletic director. What grace does he get for a basketball natty? I don't know. Come on, Gator fan. I know you loved the basketball natty. I get it. But deep down, you'd give that natty up for a chance to get back to Atlanta in the next 3 years. You would.
So I flew out of Portland yesterday morning to Chicago, where I am now. Monday Night Football tonight, Vikings-Bears. Minnesota 1.5-point favorite. So a young couple, I don't know if they're married or not, they walk on the plane. They're wearing Gators garb. And they had to stop because, people backed up, putting their luggage away and what have you. And they're standing, and I'm sitting on the aisle, and they're in the aisle. And I look up to them and I go, want to talk about it? And she says no and doesn't look at me again. She has on a T-shirt celebrating the Gators basketball national championship. So I say to him, standing behind her, so how much longer do the good feelings for the basketball natty last? And he said, they're gone. I said, that's it? So he said, they're gone.
They were on, wait a minute. This is the flight from Portland to Chicago?
Yeah. And they're wearing
6 a.m., but you left at 6 a.m. I know your flight schedule. We talked about this off air. This was a 6 a.m. Pacific flight.
Yeah, they're in the aisle.
This is 3 a.m. for them after the Gators lose and they put Gator stuff on. Think about how diehard you have to be.
Right.
After losing to South Florida and then wearing your Gator stuff on a cross-country flight at 6 a.m.
Okay, here's what I think happened, Mark. I didn't have time to get into it because after he said the feeling is already gone, then the line moved. And Mark, think about it. A, they didn't think they were going to lose to South Florida. B, I'll bet you they didn't pack any extra clothing. I don't know if they had any other choice but to wear their Gator stuff home. Most people, like I pack heavy. Most people pack light. They don't want to check a bag. They just want to, they were younger people pack lighter. I'm wondering if they had another outfit they could have worn. It was probably more Gator stuff too, Mark.
Right.
When you
that's how
you
you back for the weekend.
What are you
That's
wearing?
how you back for the weekend when you go to the game. I'm not one of those that wears it all over the country, but I do like, there was a time that I loved wearing my Michigan State stuff when I was in an airport because you walk by the guy, he goes, go green, you go white, and you're like, hey, Ray, how you doing, buddy? So I get it.
Boom. Right.
I get it. And for those of you texting the show, and the text line is 21,000 on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. A lot of you firing both coaches. For the record, I was one that said McDaniel would not last the season.
Yep.
Long before the season started.
Yep.
I still feel that way. And I'm telling you, if Napier doesn't get one of the next two, I don't think he coaches the Texas game.
I disagree. I think he's got until the bye week before Georgia, and then they'll take inventory. Got to remember, do you know what Gators go to the cocktail party? The big money ones. Okay, the big money one. Remember, the morning of the cocktail party, they were negotiating getting rid of McElwain. They were doing it in Jacksonville that morning. We actually wondered if he was going to coach because the word was out. We got to the booth 3.5 hours before kickoff, and the word was out. They were negotiating his demise. Just saying. I think he's got till the second bye.
David, the odds are that you're right. But what I watched out of that offense against South Florida.
Oh, I know.
And if you watched LSU now, and I'm a little bit confused. I will say this. Because Troy, not Aikman, Troy, for the longest time, was doing a hell of a job at the line of scrimmage against Clemson. They really were.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my big takeaways of Clemson LSU was how damn well the Clemson defensive line looked, because anybody could run on them last year. And their D-line looked good. Now I'm questioning how good Clemson was after their first 2 games. But I do think LSU hit on some of their transfers on the D-line. Good luck, Gators. Good luck.
So who gets fired first? Mike McDaniel, Billy Napier. Nearly 2/3 of you say McDaniel. Listen,
and look at Sonny in our Twitch chat room, YouTube chat room, whichever one he's in, because you can watch us on both. Said it right. If he beats LSU, it all goes away. I don't know what goes away, but it definitely, the hot seat's done for a while. Okay, you better get, and that's the one you got to get, because really and truly, you can get LSU, you can lose to Miami.
Can we talk South Florida for a second?
Yes.
16.5-point underdogs, by the way, against the Canes. They were 17.5-point dogs against the Gators. All right. How many losses can they afford? Let's just say they're going to win the American, which, by the way, Tulane's in the American, correct?
They don't play Tulane.
Right, but in theory, they'd play them in the conference championship game.
Yes. Looking at their schedule, based on what they've done already, looking at their schedule, their big hurdle in the American is at Memphis.
And at Navy. I'll throw that out there for what it's worth. But, okay. To be the group of 5 representative in the playoff, let's just say we think they're going to win the American. Can they get in the playoff with 2 losses?
Yes. Yes.
So, like,
let's just say they lose to Miami and they lose to either Memphis or Navy, but still get to the championship game.
And therefore win it, and they'd be the 11-2 American champion.
Right. So you have because it's one of the champions of the leagues. So if Boise ends up being the Mountain West champion, I don't care if they beat Notre Dame. It's head to head. That's done.
So
you're not taking them. You're not taking an undefeated Liberty team before you're taking South Florida.
I don't think so either. I'm just wondering, just talking this out. Now, also, if they are to lose Saturday, do they have to cover? You know, can it not be 35-14? I mean, I'm just curious.
It would be beneficial if they covered, but I think at the end of the day, if they win their conference, there's a really good chance that it's the Mountain West champ. And having defeated Boise should carry a lot of weight, David, shouldn't it?
I agree completely. The other thing is, quite frankly,
even if someone else wins the Mountain West, if you know what I mean.
Well, also, if you looked at like the consensus top 4 teams in the American, it was Memphis, Navy, and Tulane, 3 of the 4. Well, they don't play any of those. In theory, they play Tulane in the title game. They play Memphis and Navy both on the road.
Right.
I'm just, let's talk about South Florida in the playoff. Hey, Mark, let's be honest. Right? I mean, Mark, we could have a poll question tomorrow.
Which school has the best chance of being in the playoff?
Florida State, Miami, Florida, or South Florida? Danny, want a fresca?
They're snarky on an overreaction Monday. We are Miller and Moulton. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap today was the day when all 25 minutes away. Thanks for listening.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Well, I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters, floormeisters.com.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Nick, that's the ultimate question. And he has no boss right now. There's no president at Florida. Sonny, why are the natives restless at LSU? They beat Clemson. If they would have lost to Clemson, they would be restless, but they won week 1. I don't think the FSU or the LSU fans are restless. Now, you lose to Florida after they got beat by South Florida at home, I think they would be concerned. I understand that, but he was on the hot seat coming in. I get it. They're not going to fire him, though, Sonny. The buyout's astronomical. We had Matt Moscona on. The number's too big to fire him, period. That's from an LSU guy, a guy that's as dialed in as anybody. Clemson's a 4.5-point favorite at Georgia Tech this week. LSU's a 9.5-point favorite.
Against the Gators.
Yeah. I think it's funny that you call it a rivalry, Sonny. I think this is a made-for-TV rivalry. I guess if you're a Gator fan, you can say it better than me, but the Gator fans I know don't look at LSU as a rivalry game. Georgia and Florida State are rivalry games.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Pelican Roofing of Florida, proud sponsor of the text line. You want to get a hold of them? 1-8669-Pelican. And I know you're thinking, you said one too many numbers. No, it's 8669 Pelican. I called them 5:30 in the morning. It works. Just wanted to make sure. Pelican Roofing of Florida, proud sponsor of the text line. We broadcast live from the Floormeister studios. Floormeisters, just keeping it real. By the way, Mark, they really upgraded our studios today. I mean, they put me at a Four Seasons in Chicago. I'm on the 38th floor. They did wonders with this place.
Nice. Got a good view? Can you look out and see all over downtown and the water and everything?
I'm staring at the water 3 blocks away.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I like you at a Four Seasons.
I got to admit, I try to, come off as if, I'm not a snob. But, Mark is the food snob. I've become a hotel snob. I have.
And that is in and of itself so damn funny. Because if you go back with this show for any length of time, and I believe this was in our first act, David, I could be wrong, but you were driving all over the country doing FGCU games and you had to get to wherever. And I remember you staying in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and I don't recall the name of the hotel.
America's Best.
That's it. America's Best Inn and Suites? Or was it just America's Best?
America's Best. Yep, that was it.
And it was, in your words, a dump.
$28.
And now you can sit there and tell me the difference between the firmness of the pillow at a Ritz-Carlton versus a Four Seasons.
I was going to say, stayed at a 4-star in Eugene Friday night at borderline dump. Don't know what to tell you.
Didn't know Eugene had a 4-star. I feel badly for you on your trip because it was your first trek out to Oregon.
Yep.
And you basically didn't have time to breathe. It was land, go from Portland to Eugene, go to bed, do a game, drive back to Portland, and fly out. You didn't have a lot of time to take in the weirdness of Portland, Oregon.
No, I was in Eugene for 20 hours. Okay, I got in at 8 o'clock Friday night Eugene time, and we were pulling out of the parking lot at 4 in the afternoon Eugene time, headed to Portland. So I was in Eugene for 20 hours. I will say, from the stadium, beautiful. I mean, it's awesome, too. It's like a 52,000 seat stadium, and boy, they make a lot of noise. Can only imagine what it's like if it's a competitive game. The scenery is tremendous. The trees, the mountains, the view. I mean, it's awesome. The game was 69-3, but the surroundings were fantastic.
Yeah, I did something I don't normally do with David. I was texting him throughout the game that he works. And I'll send an occasional text. If something's happening in a game that not only that he might want to know, but Gary might want to know, I'll send him something. And you had Troy thinking about taking down Clemson, and you've got the South Florida game both going on while you're out there. And I think my third text was, I normally wouldn't bother you, but I don't think you have much to do today.
And I text him back during a play, don't worry, I'm not paying attention anyway.
My favorite text that you sent me was, I'm trying to get the tennis on the TV, but they won't let me.
We had it on till halftime. It was awesome. I kept looking over at the women's final. They kept looking at me. Hey, other guys in the booth were thinking the same thing. Not Brad and Gary, but other people in the booth were thinking the same thing. I remember the second half's about to begin, and Gary looks at me. I go, they're about to go to a tiebreak. He just looks at me like, man, I got to get somebody new.
But then I was giving David regular updates of South Florida and Florida, because I know you're either trying to get out. I don't know if you have, because some of the cars you get Sirius XM so you can listen.
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe you bring this up. I never anymore get Sirius because you have to pay for it in a rental car usually.
It comes out of your pocket, right? Not
that would come out of my pocket, right? But I want to pay for it. I'm willing to pay for it. A lot of them now don't even give me the option. I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, we got it here in the rental agreement with your company. And no, I'll pay for it. I'm sorry, we can't do it. Son of a, this car had it already. And I wasn't paying for it. And I don't think CBS was either. So I'm driving from Portland to Eugene Friday night. I got satellite radio. I'm happy as a clam.
Oh, you're listening to baseball.
Right. I have to drive Brad Nessler from Eugene to Portland because he was catching a red eye back home. He flies into Atlanta. And so I know Ness is going to want to hear and I say to him in the booth, I go, hey, for the ride, I go, you make sure you get the food and drink you need. I got you covered. We got satellite radio. You can listen to Oklahoma, Michigan. He's like, oh, that'll be great. Well, we get in the car. It's the fourth quarter of Florida, South Florida. And I say to Brad, I go, I know, you've got seniority and, rank in the car. I go, but for my little radio show, can I listen to the fourth quarter of Florida, South Florida? It's a 1-point game with like 6 minutes to go. He's like, yeah, try to find it. Well, sure enough, it was on one of the SEC channels.
Right.
Okay. Boom. I got it. And we're listening to the Gators call too, which is, even more enjoyable.
Well, not nearly as enjoyable. It would have been McHuber doing the game.
True. But it's just so enjoyable to hear long stretches of silence. And you're like, oh, they're dying. They're just dying. And they won't say what they want to say. I'm screaming at the radio at Billy Napier. Call timeout. What are you doing? You're protecting a 1-point lead, minute 20 to go. They run the ball into the line. Call timeout. What are you doing?
The clock management errors, the bad penalties. I'm telling you, Napier's got to answer for the South Florida. They should not have lost that game. They had too many men on the field, so 12 men defending on a fourth down play that gives South Florida a first down.
the spit in the face. And I know you don't want to blame a coach for that, but if a team's undisciplined, I'm sorry, it falls back on the coach.
Hey, speaking
And then
of
the penalties that cost them touchdowns and forced them to kick field goals. They should have won that game. Give South Florida all the credit in the world for hanging around and battling back. But this one's on Napier and the Gators. It is.
Speaking of which, did you see the report that came out late yesterday? I don't know if it's official. Jalen Carter is not going to get suspended. They haven't determined what the punishment. This was the report. They haven't finalized the punishment, but he's not going to lose time. Remember, they got the Chiefs. I mean, it's a Super Bowl rematch, week 2.
Whatever. I can't believe it.
Well, we'll see if the report's true. We'll see if the report's true. But there was a report that came out early yesterday evening that said he ain't getting suspended.
I will say we've gotten a lot of texts today. Love them. Coming on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. But someone a little while ago said, let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. And I'm guessing they just sent that because they just got up, because they actually made it for the whole game. Because Josh Allen kind of let the Bills fans know, you don't leave until the game's over around here.
Right.
He chastised them, albeit slightly, but he did chastise his own fan base for heading to the car a little early.
And by the way, if anybody can chastise a fan base, it's Josh Allen.
Yes, it is. So I'm at church yesterday, and I was going to have a little fun. I hold the door open for my wife and daughter, and there was another couple coming in, so I held the door open for them. And I always find it great at church at Sunday to see what people are wearing to church on an NFL Sunday, because he had his Packers golf shirt on. And I noticed another Packer golf shirt. But as people are going to, get their little piece of bread there's a guy who had a Josh Allen jersey on in church.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm guessing after that win, we're going to see it every week until the end of the season.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters, floormeisters.com.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This
sound.
is Miller and Moulton.
Empire, I know you're dying on this hill. Did Dak spit on him? I'll hang up and listen. If someone spits on the ground and you retaliate by spitting on them,
Also, now Empire, I need to know what's your fandom.
He's a Raiders fan, isn't he? I don't know.
I thought he was an Eagles fan. I mean,
yeah, who's your team? Because that answers a lot of it. Because I think this is very biased by you. Sorry.
Now, Empire, we believe. Yeah, we thought you were diehard Eagles. We believe.
Oh, well, there you go. Of course you don't. You think he should probably shouldn't have even got a penalty for it.
We believe, because think about Empire. What if it had happened with 30 seconds to go in the game? We believe that him being ejected, it shouldn't matter at what point of the game he was ejected. He's the one that committed the act. Therefore, he gets ejected. We don't think that should influence further punishment. His punishment at that moment was to be ejected. He's at fault as to when he got ejected. Now it's the league's time to hand down whatever punishment they're going to hand down. And they may decide not to suspend him. We will be surprised.
For the record, Pat Kerwin said he would have suspended him for 4 games. 4. That's Pat Kerwin.
Did he really? I thought he said 2.
No,
but okay.
No, he said
4?
2 on the air. He goes, I'd do it for 4. I think it'll be 2. Or I'd like to see a 4 games. He said that off air. He did not say that on air. By the way, how about losing a fantasy game by less than 3 points and you have the Atlanta kicker as your kicker?
Oh, no.
And he had Josh Allen. I'm winning this game by a ton until the last 4 minutes of the game or whatever.
All right. Buried in bourbon. Jalen Carter was a passenger in that accident, I believe. Was he driving? I thought the 2 young ladies were driving the cars.
He was driving a different car.
Okay.
Jalen Carter. He wasn't driving the car that crashed, but they were 2 that were racing. He was driving one of them. That's what I'm reading. I had to look at it.
Okay. Well, so Logic Man and Empire, what if he spit with under 2 minutes to go in the game? Because you guys are saying since he was ejected for the whole game, he shouldn't be penalized further. So do you think then he should be suspended for a game if he had spit with under 2 minutes to play? I know, Empire, you're going to say no because he was an Eagle. What if it was Dak Prescott spitting on Jalen Carter?
Well, then he should be suspended for life.
Oh, no. Empire said suspended the next game. Oh, okay. So, all right. I disagree, but okay. So you think he should get a game, but he already got one.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till we're out of here. Always lively on an Overreaction Monday. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. We'll have a very small preview of Monday Night Football, Vikings at Bears coming up. But first, Mark's got some business to attend to.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
Michelangelo released your statue today in 1504. David. To which people around the room went and looked, nice package. New Amsterdam becomes New York today in 1664. Lincoln gave the speech that says you may fool all the people some of the time. You can even fool some of the people all of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. Today in 1858. Bob Feller becomes the youngest to win 20 games at the age of 20, today in 1939. 41, the Siege of Leningrad. German, Finnish, and eventually Spanish troops. Battle lasts over 28 months as the Soviets repeal the invasion. Over 1 million lives are lost.
I was going to say, thank goodness he tried it. Okay. I don't know if they. I don't know if we
When
win
he
in
split
Europe.
the two fronts and it
Yep.
changed everything.
I don't know if we win in Europe if he doesn't decide to go east into Russia.
43, the Italians surrender to the Allies. 1952, Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea is published. Clemente ties the modern record with 3 triples in a game today in 1958. Wilma Rudolph wins her 3rd gold of the Rome Games, anchoring the 4x100-meter relay team today in 60. Psycho was released nationwide today in 60. Warren Spahn ties Christy Mathewson's record of 13 20-win seasons today in 63. Are we even going to have a 20-game winner this year?
I think Rodon's our best chance with the Yankees, right? He's got 16.
Right. Star Trek premieres on NBC today in 66. Evel Knievel attempted to jump the Snake River Canyon today in Idaho. He would fail, escaping with minor injuries in 1974. Ford's downfall was today in 74. He pardoned Nixon. Rose ties Cobb today in 1985 with 4,191 hits.
Of course, they took 2 hits away from Cobb. Later on, he actually passed Cobb today, but
also today in 85, Lendl wins his first U.S. title, beating McEnroe in straight sets for the Open. Oprah Winfrey's show is first broadcast nationally today in 86. Sampras retains his title in 96, defeating Michael Chang in straight sets.
it was a huge match. If Chang had won, he would have been number 1 in the world. That was the closest he came to being ranked number 1.
American Beauty would premiere today in 1999. It would win the Best Picture in 2000. Just a toe tapper, as David likes to say.
Right.
It's a disturbing movie. It's a great movie, but it's disturbing. 2001, Venus beats Serena to defend her U.S. Open title. Sampras in 2002 wins his final Grand Slam title, beating Andre Agassi in 4 sets. Roger Federer beats Andy Murray for his 5th straight U.S. title today in 2008. Stephen Colbert debuts as the new host of The Late Show in 2015. Good run there, pal. Naomi Osaka won the U.S. Open, beating Serena today in straight sets in 2018. And Queen Elizabeth died at the age of 96 3 years ago today. Peter Sellers, Patsy Cline, and Elsie Greenwood would have all celebrated birthdays today. Bernie Sanders is 84. Lem Barney and Rogi Fashan are both 80. Anthony Davis is 73. Pink is 46. And Zadarius Smith is 33 years old today. What did I miss, David?
Huh? Works for me.
Hey, right on.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What do you got, Mark?
For the good, we go to Naples, where 2 students were recognized last week by the Naples Police Department's Do the Right Thing. Lizzie Froloff, a high school student, has been helping families get Christmas trees since she was in the 2nd grade. She's now a high school student. And Carol Villani, at just 8, has been helping students during recess and lunch. She buys puzzles with her own money, organizes crafts, and even helps raise funds for a special trip to Chuck E. Cheese. Great job by those 2. For the bad, we'll stay in Southwest Florida, go to Lee County, where I'll give this a shot. Tidazia Vendors, the 29-year-old of Lehigh. She's a wonderful person. She was busted doing 117 in her car Saturday morning, right on Michael Ripa Parkway. It is a very good road to drive fast on, but 117 might be in excess. The other part is she had a 4-year-old in the car who wasn't even in a car seat.
Oh, come on.
Her chance for Mom of the Year may have just disintegrated. And for the ugly, we go to Massachusetts, where 2 women are accused of stealing more than $2,000 worth of clothes from TJ Maxx. If those same clothes were at a regular store, they'd have close to $8,000. They were busted, by the way, when they decided to go to the Wendy's drive-thru across the street after stealing the clothes. They were arrested before they got their biggie meal and were taken directly to jail. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, Monday, September 8th, here on Miller and Moulton.
11 games in Major League Baseball. Listen, I know the Mets are in Philadelphia. They're 7 back with 19 to play. Their pitching's a mess. Phillies to me are playing for, I know themselves, but come on, the Phillies are going to win the East. This isn't like, 18 years ago when the Mets were 7 up with 17 to play. I mean, I know the Mets have dominated the Phillies this year. I will be shocked if the Mets even go into Philly and win 3 out of 4, they're still 5 back with 15 to play. I mean, it's a lot to overcome here. In order for this series to be really meaningful and negative for the Phillies, they'd have to get swept at home. I think they have the best home record in the National League. But to me, Mark, the Phillies are playing for the Giants, for the Reds. And listen, if we're going to count them 4 back of the Mets, the Cardinals and Diamondbacks are both 4.5. They're only a half a game behind those 2 teams. So to me, that's who the Phillies are playing for. I think the Phillies have won the East. And right now, with the Dodgers' 5-game losing streak last week, I think the Phillies have a comfortable lead on being the 2 seed even over LA. They'd have to really slump down the stretch, I think, for the Dodgers or Padres to overtake them.
Yeah, they're 4 up.
Yeah, but to me, the Phillies are playing.
So, yeah.
The Phillies are playing for the Giants, the Reds, the Diamondbacks, and the Cardinals here. The Mets play 13 of the last 19 against teams with a winning record. Phillies, Rangers, Cubs, and somebody else. I'm just saying, somebody can chase down the Mets. They can. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Mets fan and I've seen some brutal things. I'm telling you, the Mets could be caught. Probably the biggest game. We got another couple interesting series, going on. I think Milwaukee's playing Texas, 2 teams that are in it. Reds and Padres are interesting.
That's a big series for the Reds because obviously they're out west against a good ball club. San Diego's still trying to win that division, but the Reds have got to figure out a way to get 2 or 3 here. If you're right, and I don't think anybody catches the Mets. I just think it's too many games with too short of a time, and I get your reasons why. I just don't think what's left. Not to mention the D-backs and the Giants are playing one another. You've got to have a sweep there.
I think the Phillies, though, are going to win 3 out of 4. It's why I still think that the last wild card's in play. I think, Mark, if the Mets can split this 4-game series, they'll get the horse to the barn. But, boy, their pitching's a mess. They got 3 rookie starters right now in their rotation, and they're their best pitchers. That's how messed up.
Starting pitching of all of the teams that are going to make the playoffs, David. It's scary.
Monday Night Football. Vikings a 1.5-point favorite in Chicago. I think, and I'm not just saying this because, I'm in Chicago and I'm helping to work the game. I think it's interesting. I mean, come on. We got a guy at Minnesota who's never taken a snap in the NFL, a quarterback. That's intriguing, right? And then we got the guy in Chicago who's got now the new coach and the new coaching. And is he going to do for him what he did for Jared Goff in Detroit? And if so, are the Bears a sleepy playoff team this year?
Well, and the game within the game. Look, at Ben Johnson is by all accounts an offensive genius. I mean, this is football people saying that. Is there anybody that coaches better on the I mean, where would you put Flores in defensive coaches? Top 3?
At worst, top 5. I mean, I'd have to put Spags in the mix, but yeah, absolutely. Oh,
no, I mean, you put Spags in it. You might put Fangio in it. I mean, I get it, but he's on the short list of best defensive coaches out there right now.
Now,
I'm fascinated by the matchup of Johnson's offense and Flores' defense here.
Okay. With that in mind, if I can get a little X's and O's and gooberish here. When Ben Johnson faced Flores the last 2 years, okay, first off, the Lions had no problems with the Vikings. Secondly, I think they went 4-0. They averaged over 30 points a game in going 4-0. Okay? So just saying that Ben Johnson had the upper hand against Flores. Granted, he had better personnel in Detroit than what he's got here. Although Bears fans would say if we can get the quarterback to play at a decent level, look out. All right. The Vikings are one of the 3 best teams in the last 3 years at close games. I mentioned this stat earlier. They've played 35 one-score games in the last 3 years under Kevin O'Connell. Think about that. They've played 51 games. 35 of them have been one-score games. They're 26-9 in those games. I forget the 2 teams who were better. One of them was the Chiefs. I know that. Remember, the Chiefs had that, 15, 17 in a row, one-score games that they won? Yeah. So the Vikings win one-score games under O'Connell, but Ben Johnson's been carving up the Vikings when he was with Detroit. Couple of things to look for. Last year, Caleb Williams played in the shotgun about 70% of the time. In 40 preseason snaps, he was almost 50-50 under center versus shotgun. And remember, for those that have watched the Lions, Jared Goff probably takes more snaps under center than any other quarterback in the league. So if you want to look for a difference in the Bears, Caleb Williams, who never took snaps under center at USC, will probably be under center a lot more than he's ever been in his life. Okay?
I think that the Bears, look, I don't, I will find out about Caleb. But I think from a receiving standpoint, what Ben Johnson has to work with is pretty damn good. I believe that. I'm not sure DeAndre Swift is all that, he had 2 really good running backs. What's Swift able to do, if anything, tonight?
Well, Mark, I'm glad you brought that up because for what it's worth, last year the Bears ran the ball 35% of the time. That's it. The Lions ran the ball 46%. Remember, Liam Cohen, went to Jacksonville. What did he say? We're going to run the ball. And guess what? ATN at $146 yesterday. So will the Bears try to run it? And will he stay with it?
That's the key, David. That last line, will he stay with it? I'm watching the Pittsburgh game yesterday. Early on, they're running, it's going nowhere. You've got to keep running it. That's what you do. You got to stick with it. And will Johnson, the play caller, head coach, stick with it if it's not working.
And very quickly, when Ben Johnson was in Detroit, they were top 3 in the league running 2 tight ends. The Bears were in the bottom third of the league in running 2 tight ends. So look to see, does Caleb under center, 2 tight ends, and will they stick with the run? I'll take the Vikings close. Miller and Moulton.
Give me Chicago.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters, floormeisters.com.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Shoeless Joe Sports Cafe is where your fantasy football draft should be. Free private rooms, Wi-Fi, plus food and drink specials. In August, Shoeless has bingo and trivia Tuesdays and Thursdays with your chance to win free wings and beer for a year. Fridays, live music on the deck. Saturdays, karaoke on the deck. Plus daily meal specials like Wednesdays, $6 wings and half-price pizza. Watch all your baseball and football at Shoeless Joe's, your home for good food, good times, and good sports in the Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers.
When you're craving the real taste of Chicago, there's only one name to know. Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell them Miller and Moulton sent you.
This is Miller and Moulton.